Hi guys, welcome back to GOML Forever. We are here. It's day one for Street Fighter. Day two, if you've been following us yesterday, I think we had Under Night as well as Grand Blue, but right now it is Street Fighter for the next while. My name is John Briggs, and I'm of course joined by Kucho Kate. So wonderful to join you.
Well, what's up there, everybody? And we're going to have some absolutely fantastic Street Fighter 6 matches here at Get On My Level in Toronto, Canada.
Yes.
Some of the top level players that we're going to be seeing here is going to be 801 Striver, Bill Jobs, Riddles, Big Dom Churro.
Yeah, we got J Foss, we got Thunder as well, Thunder DeLangus, previously known as Joe Uma Rogan. We got Rami Rashid, that's a very strong player from Montreal. So many names I recognize up here. I get to have a lot of Canadian bias, a lot of Ottawa in here. I'm seeing Ottawa out all over the place. Of course, with Zycles. My boy, he's doing a lot of TO work this weekend, so I know, listen, but he's not tired. I know that guy. Sufficiently caffeinated, sufficiently stimulated. But we're going to be moving into a little bit of an ad break before we get in here. So we'd love to shout out our support for our friends at Zenny. Please use GOML for 10% off site-wide, the official eyewear of our event. Good for if you've been staring at the screen too much all day, give yourself a migraine. Listen, these guys have blue eye blockers. Listen, you can't put flux onto the setups. You can put flux onto yourself, you know what I mean? Make sure to use, and also if you don't want to find their website, just type !Zenny in the chat to get yours today.
And here we go, that hot and fresh pizza here by Domino's. And if you type in GOML 30, you're going to get 30% off of your next Domino's here. And of course, Domino's sponsoring Get On My Level for year 2. Fantastic stuff there for that handmade fresh pizza.
And make sure if you're at the event or if you're at home to go to start.gg/GOML shop. The aesthetic, I love the pastel aesthetic of these shirts. They're very, very sweet, very cute. If you're here, they're available. Canada's biggest FGC event, 11 years in the running. It's crazy. That might be older than some of the folks here, which is crazy. I don't want to be thinking about that. But moving on to another event, Let's Make Moves Miami, taking place. You can register for that using the same code, GOML, G-O-M-L. Get 15% off reg. Only comes down to $50. Insane value, $50 venue.
And here we go, Toryukin is going to be going on July 26th. That's Toronto's one-day fighting game event, July 26th. And a huge number of games there. Check it out at startgg.com. Sign up at Toryukin.
And we have Fizzy Brax if you're looking to follow, make a little fantasy team. If you think you know how these brackets are going to go, you can go to fizzybrax.com. Put your money where your mouth is and walk away with a little bit of reward. The best predictors in the world. If you want to pull them up, ! Fizzy Brax in the chat. And, of course, shout-outs to our partners at Blacklight. Make sure that that lumbar is supported. You're going to be sitting down playing a lot of games, unless you're sitting on the floor, and you'll keep it old school. But if you're modern and you're trying to protect your back and your neck, use code GOML20 to save 20% off site-wide. Upgrade your chair and protect that posture.
Fantastic stuff here. Lots to look forward to and lots of great Street Fighter 6 matches coming to you in Toronto. And if you guys happen to be in the area, please feel free to stop by. Tournament is going on until Sunday evening. Yeah, we're right downtown. Very quick walk from Union. That's what I know what I did. Right on the subway line, 123 Queen, easy to remember. But for now, these are folks that are here currently. We've got Chunky Monkey. Love that tag. Not just because it's a little similar to mine, but listen. I'm excited to see what kind of gameplay we're going to see. I don't know if we're right into this, so this is a button check. This looks button check to me. I don't think he'd let him get away with that. We have Joshua looking like, if these are the characters, I don't want to commit too early, but this will be a fun matchup. Very long-legged. That's right. Both of these characters. The normals would be ridiculous there. I love he's just in the back here until he died in the clap from the audience. I'm like, good job, man. All right, we're figured it out. Craziest round I've ever seen. Yeah, damn, it's lightning fast. They need to make this game first to 5. That's crazy, bro. It's over so quickly. But yeah, these are the characters. They give us a nice little preview. First match of this pool on stream anyway. I know they've been running a little bit off stream. I'm sure we'll see some more folks We're seeing Chunky Monkey with Manon, new character to the Street Fighter franchise, introduced for 6, and she is a great long normals ranged grappler character there. So interesting mix for Manon.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting range we're playing at. We're seeing immediately a ton of jumps from Chunky Monkey, right? Because as soon as you start building those stocks, things get a lot scarier for this character. The risk-reward becomes so in your favor. But we're seeing Joshua just holding down up back.
That's right. A little bit of check there on those landing frames. But here we go with the roll forward for Chun-Li.
Yeah, Chunky gambling quite hard. Hasn't worked out so far. Josh has been very good at punishing every option they go for, but hitting the ground with a sweep. Another opportunity here, paying off at this time.
And those are 2 gold medals here for Manon. Wow, she's really capitalizing on the jump-ins here.
Yeah, I mean,
against Chun-Li.
Her jump-ins have really good range, and I feel like Chun-Li has to think about her anti-airs quite a bit. She has really good anti-airs, but for different ranges, right?
Right.
And if you're overwhelming your opponent, giving them too much to think about, it can fall apart quickly.
Yep, trying to capitalize on those recovery frames there. I feel Josh is playing very cautiously, very respectively, but...
Well, I feel like Chunky Monkey is throwing a lot of very high-risk stuff, so Josh just for now is like, okay, I'll just let this guy throw what you're going to do.
Right.
And when I find my opportunity, I'll strike. Drop their combo there, but resets at the mid-screen, which is where she's going to be comfortable anyway.
Here we go. Jab to that spinning bird kick here. Hey, Chun-Li resetting the neutral a little bit. Manon, though. Here you go. Try to take advantage of that Dore, but... fantastic. Closes it out with the OD lightning legs.
Doesn't even waste our time with the super. Says, let's get this over as quick as possible. And we're seeing from Joshua here so much up back. And listen, if it's keep working, if you know you're going to avoid the command throw just we see here, why stop, right? Let your opponent adapt. It's a long set. The adjustment might come eventually, but get those games while you can.
And we're seeing Joshua at this point now is feeling a little bit more comfortable in the matchup, a bit more aggressive. Great drive rush cancel. Okay, here we go. Serenity stance, switch up, and...
that should be it. Doesn't have to spend any meter. Great awareness. Burn yourself out right at the end. No real consequence there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, try to go for that anti, but that stand roundhouse so high reward. But at that range, a little too slow to catch out. You can see what Chunky Monkey is taking to the air. Going a little bananas.
Okay, the DI gets no confirmed there.
Hanging back, using the Kokokin to just try to set up, but
Going
Chunky Monkey not dealing with it.
Command grab and DI. What's the mix-up going to be?
Yeah, the DI's a little risky against Manon too, because like she has the command grab as an option, but when he's going for the high commitment like overhead and sweep over and over again, got to make sure they're ready for it.
Oh!
Speaking of being ready for it, unfortunately, that's one of the only DPs in the game you can't DP out of DI, just not enough hits. Unfortunate.
Right. Chun-Li back against the wall with a magic pixel health, and that forward throw is going to close it out for Chunky Monkey. We are tied 1 round apiece.
Yeah, a little bit of a turnaround. First round on the board. Now sending it a lot more with DI. We're checking a lot more reactions. He's like, it seems like his focus is really make the mental stack as high as you can. Full leaning Tower of Pisa. Like, the more options I represent, the more chances I'm going to find my way in, just like this.
That's it. And the Dore is going to get that 4th medal here for Chunky Monkey. But here comes Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Fantastic confirm there. Here we go with the overhead.
He's landed every single one of those. Might see in the CA here. Yeah. Oh, notice level 2. Unfortunate drop though, but look at the counter hit.
That's
It
right.
was a setup. We call that a Canadian reset. Like an American reset, just a little colder.
Keiki Kosho closes it out there. That is 2. Remember now, everybody, this is a 1st to 3.
Yes. Keep it consistent. 1st to 3 all the way through the bracket. Joshua up 2-0 right now, has just had all the control in the world, have not seen a ton of breaks. Even as Chunky Monkey is building up these medals, it makes the risk higher, but like the options that Joshua are going for on offense, on defense, they seem to always sneak his way out of the momentum.
Nice air-to-air here, but Joshua really getting counter hit with those lights.
Heading into the corner. Okay, is he going to
Nice
eat it? He's just
reset.
trying to scramble his way out, but Josh is just playing too solid. One more hit is all it's going to take, going into the potential final round of the set.
Great stuff there. Keeping it clutch, Joshua sitting on match points.
Nice avoiding each other, just kind of passing around. A lot of jumping over each other, getting under each other, a lot of scramble, but ultimately Chunky Monkey, that command grab, that damage is going to start to add up. Nice!
That's right. Fantastic confirm on that whiffed DI. And Joshua, a little bit of shimmy moment there.
Yeah, trying to bait out an option, see what we might scramble for, but like Joshua is just really not, he's just like not existing in the scramble at all. He's like, you do whatever you want. I can guess wrong once in a while, but ultimately the solid plays got me this far. A nice anti-air.
Fantastic anti-air. And here we go. Chunky Monkey's trying to find a safe way, but here we go. The Horse Ascension again for that level 2.
Oh, interrupted with the smallest punish of all time. Unfortunately, like, it was a bit of a scramble for both players. I don't think that was necessarily like what he wanted there. The level 2 wasn't going to end up comboing. And so in that scenario, you kind of panic. He's like, what am I going to punish with? It needs to be fast enough. It's hard when you're on stage. Those bright lights, the folks watching at home. Thank you very much, by the way, for watching.
That's right. And we hope you guys are enjoying these fantastic matches here. Now, speaking about fantastic, Joshua with a very strong Chun-Li, really capitalizing off of her Tensho up kicks. And those Tensho up kicks have been recently buffed for better anti-airs.
Yes, thank goodness. Still, like, and especially if you're just going for raw, like, you're not dealing with a cross-up, you're not dealing with something like that. It's just, like, very, very consistent.
Yes.
And I want to say for him, too, like, the Oki, like, the way that he was able to, like, his setups were very consistent. He always knew, he was like, if I'm holding it stable, this guy's going to try and scramble out on me. Feeling like very consistently, like, if I just keep things simple, run my offense, they'll bite eventually, and runs through it 3-0. Sure, we'll see them again later.
Fantastic stuff there. And, you know, one thing for sure, we haven't seen many Manons there, but a good showing there by Chunky Monkey. But we have our next competitors.
Someone secretly off camera. He's making a dramatic reveal.
There. Yes.
No, wait, dude, it's a dramatic reveal, and then I'm like, I don't know who that is, unfortunately. But the names will pop up in a second. Russell's best in the biz. He'll let us know. Shoutouts to Russell. He's running around crazy this weekend, working as hard as possible.
You know, and speaking about many competitors, there are many games here at Get On My Level.
Yeah.
A lot of Smash representation.
For sure. Smash Rivals was huge for signups this year. I think it almost doubled for Rivals too.
Yes.
I think every fighting game, almost every fighting game had like an increase of at least something. So people are still coming out. People are making the trek wherever you are in either the northern United States, east side of Canada.
Yes.
It's a tournament definitely worth making your way out to. And, you know, get a chance to be on stream, show off your skills like these guys are about to.
That's right. So we're going to have Joy FX and Dawn.
Have to see who these guys are going to find. What champions are going to represent them? What Street Fighter character? Because there's a lot, right? Like, I feel like when you go on stage, you're like, this is how I'm going to represent myself. There's, like, multi...
And it's a very diverse roster, too.
Yes. A lot of different ranges and things that different characters excel at, of course. A lot of characters that, and it's early into the season too, right? There's not really, no one's quite ready to drop a tier list quite yet. You know, I feel the balance of this game is quite solid. Like, it's quite tight. You can separate it into tiers, but you got to, you know, it's like an A+, A minus. You know what I mean? Like they're not like a real D tier in our game these days. Not common. Capcom balance
plus
team.
We're going to be having Sagat, Viper, Alex, and Ingrid coming through for next season.
Coming around the corner. I think Sagat drops beginning of next month.
Yes. So here we go. Ken and Dictator. Bison here on the screen.
Yeah, Bison rocking that new outfit as well. Rocking the Sergei Dragunov. That's what I see anyway.
So these are two very heavy momentum rushdown characters here. Of course, Bison really able to capitalize on the plus frames on his normals.
Ooh, a little bit of a scramble early. A lot of like started combos that did finish off. Got to get your bearings. I'm telling you, the camera's on you. It adds, you know, you're already getting into tournament. You're outside of your room. I swear, the lights add 2 frames of input delay, like just to your brain. Like, you're just not ready for it. But Don, finding capitalization, burns himself out, goes for a safe jump.
That's right. This is a spot that really, Dictator is not a spot that he's supposed to be. He wants to have more free roaming, and he's the one that's supposed to give the pressure. Yeah,
and it's a character, too. It's, like, very, very fast-paced.
Right.
When he gets going, it can all fall apart so quickly, but when he's on the back foot, you have to commit so hard with a drive reversal or a super, these options that are either high risk or low reward.
And that's it. Want to punish the cooldown frames, but here you go. The reversal, reset the neutral a little bit there, and Bison.
Nice job there on Don. Traded on that anti-air and just secured their offense either way.
Right. A little bit of trade there, but Ken still on the offense. Bison in a burnout state, fighting his way back. Okay, here we go. Doubles reversal to confirm.
Doesn't go to CA though.
Planted.
I think that could have been enough, but listen, we saved the meter.
Very good. Awesome. Very clutch play there by Joy. Really.
It can be really, really hard when you're in a scenario like that where, like, I don't know if he realized that it's like, dang, I could have won. You start to fall apart. He's just like, no, I'm going to stay solid. Finds the next hit.
Baits out the reversal here, Ken.
A little too slow of a punish there, though.
That's right. Everybody going for the trades, and no one really getting big damage off the counter hits, but...
It's a real back and forth, a real slobber knocker. We've seen a lot of counter hits. see what the anti. Yeah, he's trying to go for that anti with Crouch Fear. It's not going to be enough. Bison, that Devil's Reverse is just so strong. So hard to contest.
Oh.
Nice punish.
That's right. Ken. Oh, just out of throw range there, but.
Oh, there's
the
not
burnout
finishing.
state. Here we go. Nice punish counter, but
send it again. Neutral jumping the reversal.
That's right. And here we go. Ken closes it out.
It's all smiles from these guys. They know they're deep in the scramble. They're in the same boat here. Really could have gone either way.
Very
but
well
Dawn returning to the farm on that neutral jump just to avoid every scramble option in the game.
Okay, here we go. Bison's second setup here. Oh, right.
There's 1-0 right now. Gets the cross up, baits out the, not just the reversal, but the meter. Small punish, but you got to think about the drive gauge running out. You do not want to be burnt out against this character. He's going to be plus forever, which is why Dawn quickly tries to capitalize, find his own turn.
That's right. And here you go.
Ooh!
Air here for Ken.
He's playing a little bit of KOF. He's doing those neutral hops.
He is, and we're seeing Ken, you know, trying to back off a little bit there to establish his mid-range game.
Once again!
Air.
Yeah, seems to be the option that he's figured out is going to work for him.
Yes.
He sneaks out a burnout.
Oh,
Unfortunately, it had to be a misinput, but you're not dead quite yet.
And that's it. Drive rush with the low forward there. Psycho Mind with those last bit of health disappearing.
Heading into the second round here. Joy making a statement, though. Finding their way onto the board. Has to see if they can finish this one out. See if we can get a real back-and-forth set. Finds the punish.
Okay. Catches the startup of a Psycho Crusher.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Just trying to find the way. Using so much of the Stomp and Devil's Reverse because, like, the ways that Dawn have been trying to deal with it have been semi-consistent, but pretty low reward for him. So it's almost like the risk-reward kind of favors him just going to the farm over and over again, seeing if he can find his momentum off of that.
And that's it. That forward Fierce does so much damage and pressure for Ken. But here we go. Bison in control here with Ken getting looped a bit in the corner.
The back throw incident is real. It could happen to anyone. We're all the same when our back is to the corner, but the neutral jump continues. Dawn had just fallen to that option, whether it's on offense or on defense. It's really hard to check if you're not looking for it. And if you're just kind of autopiloting, you can find yourself underneath Ken, whether it punishes or not. He burns himself out so fast!
That's right. Straight through his resources here, Ken, but still trying to keep the pressure up on Bison.
But giving a huge opportunity here, but getting so much mileage on that neutral jump once again. Nice blocks. Bison finding their own turn in. So plus, he was 2+. The extra block's done.
And here we go. Ken just healing up his resources there, but Bison doing a great job comboing into that scissor kick.
Either one of these guys, next touch into level 3. It won't be enough probably, but it would be such a huge momentum starter. But now, nice wake up. Doesn't finish their plate. Willing to challenge.
Yes.
Didn't think it would work. Next touch.
And that's it. The low forward. Watch the toast there. Drive rush cancel combo into Shippu Chenrai. Karaku level 2.
Yeah, keep it quick. Buffed on speed too, so it works in so many more juggles. Keep it simple. Make sure you secure the win.
That is going to be one game apiece here. I really like the adjustments that Joy had made with starting with jab there. He was trying to use some of his fastest frames to catch Ken.
And right now, we have a little secret cam over here. Hopefully we can get onto the stream in a second. But moving forward into, already getting into the corner here. Dawn just kind of slowing things down to neutral. Gets the punish this time.
Yeah, gotta watch the toes there. Watch the toes.
It's very easy to kind of reset your pressure. On a character like Bison, you have to find the right space to challenge at. You don't have much invincible. It's kind of hard to... if you can, you got your opponent out of the corner. The nice thing about having your opponent corner is they can't change their spacing.
Right.
So you can always control where you're going to challenge them at.
We're seeing a lot of strong neutral play.
Yeah, just very slowed down at this point. I feel like Dawn's become really confident. Right at the beginning, we weren't quite sure. Like, there were so many, the Devil's Reverses, the Stomps, not sure how to deal with it. Has gotten more confident at dealing with it now. And he's like, if you want to go there, I'm ready. For now, I'm just going to chill.
And I feel that at this point, everyone's probably a little bit more comfortable with being on stage.
For sure. They got in their stage legs, I guess. I think that was going to be the level 3 for the end there. Unfortunately, a misinput. But using that Jinrai, he's so good, Dawn, so far. At like the second he gets into burnout, there's no panic. He's like, I anticipated this. I've been checking my meter. I went into burnout on purpose. I'm just going to keep my offense going. It doesn't matter if you keep going, right?
I think they have one more game, don't they?
No, it was 3-0, I think, for our Ken player.
Oh, very good there.
Yeah, there was a moment where Joy was starting to come back with the Bison, but right at the end. A little bit of confusion coming back to the camera, but yeah, 3-0 for our friend Dawn.
Good stuff there for Dawn. You know, Ken also with this most recent patch is Genrai. The light Genrai now leads to a knockdown.
Yeah. So like it's a little less pressure when you're going for stagger pressure with the follow-ups. Have to be working a little bit harder, but character loyal. Yeah, sounds like we have a little bit of an issue on stage. My boy Andy up there, one of the hardest working guys I know up there in Ottawa, part of the Battle City team. He's tech support on the case, but for now we'll be holding it down. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're here or at home. It's going to be a long day of Street Fighter. I think we're doing all the way to top 8 today. Top 24 is going to be later with, I believe, it's Safe and WaveB, my friend Luke, another Ottawa boy. Ottawa really came down.
That's wonderful that you guys all support these events, but at the same time, it's also a rivalry.
Of course, yeah. It's like a healthy rivalry. You show up, show what your city can do.
That's right.
Train your limits, and then go home. Grind at local for another few weeks until the next opportunity.
Very good. And we hope you guys are having a wonderful time watching at home on Twitch and on YouTube. There are a lot of fantastic games going on here. We're seeing a lot of Smash, Tekken, Guilty Gear, Fatal Fury. Fatal Fury will be on later. Yeah, I'll be joining you again for top 8. But yeah, Guilty Gear, I believe, was on the side stream over there. I think it's being run by our friends at Just Mids. Love those guys. But for now, it seems I hear character noises, and I see movement on the stage in our tiny little window. So it seems that possibly whatever was going incorrect has been corrected. Might have just been a maintenance check, too. Make sure that the PC on stage is just going to perform make sure
at optimal.
Smoothly there, which is a good thing. But we're happy that you guys are joining us here in, fantastic Toronto, Canada, and the weather's been
so good. I've been so happy. It's such a nice, it's warm, but it's not like I'm going to be scorching and melting on my walk over to the venue.
Yes.
So we got, I thought Andy was doing maintenance. Andy, he's playing. I forgot these guys are all signed up as well. Had a good showing yesterday in the team tournament. We should see, I believe he was playing Ed yesterday. So I think that's what we'll see going forward. But he's a guy who's been known to switch around a lot.
Yes.
I just know Andy is someone I know. It's like full-time. It's like he's a player, but he's a full-time dad. He's like, got the family at home.
Wow, yes, so he's juggling.
He's juggling, right?
Good for him. That's fantastic.
And he's juggling characters just as hard. Our other friend there, not sure what the tag is. We'll have to update that. But we'll have to see if my friend had the Tiger shirt. That'd be Lero on the right there. I think we might have to switch sides on this one.
And Andy, Cammy, and Ed.
Andy Deluvian, longtime player, very, very strong SF4 player. But has maintained. Their practice has a really good scene to practice with up here in Ottawa. We'll see how Leo is going to approach it. I feel like this is really going to come down to Cammy has so many good ways to navigate the air, and I feel like Ed, he has strong anti-airs, but kind of like Chun-Li, the ranges really matter on it, and the fact that she can delay with dive kick, she's got Hooligan to kind of mess up your timing.
Right.
But right now, none of that has mattered. Going early with a perfect Andy.
Fantastic stuff there. Very strong start here for Andy.
Just holding control, using that drive rush, that standing medium kick.
That's something, too, that you don't see too incredibly often. Cammy usually is the one to run the momentum and the pressure here. And we're seeing Lero trying to run in and get the confirm, but Andy's doing a great job hitting her at startup and getting the big damage.
Yeah, just eating, this stand medium kick drive rush is all just going to the farm. Double perfect already, just maintains the momentum the whole time. Lero's shaking that off. Don't worry about it. It happens, brother.
That's right. And that's the thing, too, with the first 3.
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit of leeway to try different things out and extra games.
Yeah, time to live, time to learn. See how you're going to change the approach here, but right now.
At the back against the wall and baits out the reversal there. A lot of use of the kill rush for Ed.
Yeah, it's safe on block usually. Can kind of check Cammy if she wants to go into challenge. I think Cammy's one of the better characters. One of the longer crouch medium kicks, so if you're trying to challenge your way out after a block string, which usually be what you go for. But the counter hit on the kill rush.
Yeah, she went for the Hooligan mix-up there, just out of range. Nice little backdash by Andy there. The Psycho Spark, one of the more slower projectiles for the startup.
Yeah, it makes it easy to advance behind at least. And right now, finding their way in. I think, that's going to be an unsafe dive kick. Back throw just for the positioning here. Drops the combo at the end there, but have to see how Lero's going to fight out. Andy's got all the drive in the world. Lero now using
the snatcher.
Lero doing a little more of the spin knuckle now too. Even happy just on block. Tried to go for a drive rush, I think, at the end there. Got burnt out. It's going to be so rough because level 2 is available for Andy. Get to see if he goes to the farm or if he's chilling. Cammy's got lots of good anti-fireball options, so you don't want to be too proactive. Just looking for something to react to. Trying to find their way in, but you also don't want to let the burnout pass you by. It's going to be unsafe, but wasn't ready for the punish.
That's right, and here we go. Cammy healing up her resources there, taking her turn. No confirm, so she goes for the tick throw.
Oh, ready for it. Last possible frame.
What's this big combo going to be? Fantastic. Machine gun blitz into that Psycho Cannon. Closes it out with style.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if he's going to go, not sure if he's going to go for the fancy one, but just did a simple combo. All he needed at that point is to be 1-0 for Andy Diluvian.
That's right.
Just playing like so solid, so safe. The game plan does not need to be challenged quite yet. Lero has tried to find their way out. I think that we might see some adaptations as time goes on.
And that's the thing too. See, we're seeing Lero, who is blocking a lot of this, and he's getting push blocked into the corner. But now we're seeing finally Ed on that player 2 side.
Yeah, got the corner loops. Unfortunately, dropped out of their shimmy there. Did one for the meaty stand heavy punch a little too early. Andy's got a lot of mileage after loop. Like, Lero hasn't had a lot of opportunities to get offense going. So, like, you're going to make mistakes sometimes, and Andy's just so ready to capitalize on it.
And that's it. Here we go with the low forward drive rush cancel into spin drive smasher. Great stuff here for Lero.
Huge corner carry on that, but right now you have to play at a range. You see Andy just throwing that stand fierce right into EX Snatcher. You know that's got to be buffered behind it. Okay. Nice!
Nice. Great stuff there with the hooligan mix-up. And here we go, spin drive 2. Great.
Wonderful stuff.
Punches it out in the burnout state. Fantastic for Lero.
Saw him miss that meaty last time. This time, timed it on time. Andy thought he was going to miss it again. Just go to farm again, you know. Have faith in yourself. Go for the meaty.
And we're seeing Andy, he's really trying to fish with his longest ranges here with those blitzes.
Yes. Trying to make you overthink how you want to approach. Because the more you stick in neutral, the less your opponent might be to dash or drive rush up at you.
Right.
Might have to go into the air.
And we're seeing, I feel, Lero feeling a bit more comfortable right now in the matchup here.
Heading to the corner now using the command dash. Can give frame advantage to so much screen, mid-screen, while not using any of your drive. But just like that, doesn't have the super to cash out. Goes for it.
Catches the startup of that DI.
Andy has dropped so many back throws. Have been going so hard. Unfortunately, not the right ender. Could be next touch here. Yeah, this could be enough. Doesn't cash out into level 3. I guess no, he's a round down, so maybe he's like, I'm confident I can finish this. But there's
a little bit of bait there, but that's it. Ed is going to catch the cooldown frames of that parry. Fantastic stuff here.
I think still one. Yeah, going into the second game right now.
Range. And Cammy, she's going to try to take her turn. Hooligan again. Here we go. Ed, patience in the corner.
Tried to empty, has gone for a lot of DI in the corner. Andy's ready for that. I know the local he plays at. He's more than ready for people going for the DIs.
Wow, it's a great elusive movement there with the kill rush into a little bit of a shimmy backwards. Fantastic. He's really trying to bait Cammy into a very risky move there.
I feel like the drive management game has been so much in Andy's favor so far, and just baiting out the parry, you lose a lot of meter. Even if you don't punish it, just going for parry, you might sometimes lose a whole bar. But just like that, Andy Diluvian makes it 3-0.
Yep. Big
another 3-0 on stream.
On that final level 2 with that Psycho Cannon. Very well done.
Yeah, just keep it simple. Know when you're ready. Pay attention to the health, because that level 2 combo, especially if you do the real fancy stuff, the real Twitter combos, I think it's a little more optimal than level 3.
Yes.
But get your practice now while you're good and ahead. Try it out now, so even if you drop, you might still have an opportunity for you fight Daigo later. Or Scrot, apparently, holy crap, we were watching that in the back. Scrot showing against Daigo. That was such a good set to end that stream off of.
It was very intense. Unbelievably good. Unbelievably good match.
Doing another little maintenance on the stream, but it looks like we'll have Booty Lord and Riddles coming up. But I do see, Riddles approaching the stream, and my boy Will Intentions doing some maintenance.
And that's something else, too. Riddle's doing a fantastic job competing in both Smash games and Street Fighter games.
Multi-talented. It's always those young guys, right? And he's traveling every single time they're going to an event. I'll just see Riddles in the airport. And he's not, I'm like, okay, he must be chilling. He's got to be reading a book or listening to a podcast or something. He's watching matches. He's looking at his bracket. It's that young man, work ethic.
Yes, absolutely.
Grind all day, and it's been paying off. Riddles, of course, having a lot of exposure recently. He's been doing videos with Evo and stuff.
Yes.
Great to see some of that Canadian representation.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. And, especially to be able to juggle both games at such a high level.
Yes.
Too. Very good. And using one of the newer characters from SNK, Terry.
Yes. I guess at least you can play him in both games. You can kind of play him in almost every game these days.
That's right.
You got the Terry in this game, in Smash, in Fatal Fury, KOF. If you're trying to go back and play Fexel, I'll play some Fexel with whoever, bro. That game is so much fun. But right now, we're playing some Street Fighter 6. There is Booty Lord. We now have a face to the name.
Very good.
Have to see what is going to be shown. We'll probably see the Terry from Riddles, unless he's going to be trying with something with a sub-character this early in the bracket. We'll have to see. This is kind of like the perfect time to experiment if you want to, but other times it's just about consistency.
Yes,
especially in a game like
absolutely.
Street Fighter 6. It's very explosive, and so like
Right, huge amounts of damage can easily come and go, and especially with the mechanics
yes,
built in. Oh, hey.
looks like we're maybe getting a DJ out of
That's
Booty
right.
Lord, trying to shake his booty, the most dancey character in the game, I guess.
That's right.
Looks like you're going right into it. No button checks required. We get that in the menu. I love the future. I love modern times.
That's right.
The two biggest changes for society, the polio vaccine and button check in the menu. We did it.
Streamlines it pretty quick. Okay, so one thing sure for DJ here, he's got some great long-range normals.
Yeah, I feel like DJ has so many good, strong options. Like, he's quite weak to DI, I find. Not a lot of what he has is, like, cancelable, but I don't know if a player like Riddles is going to go to DI even that often. But Riddles, of course, coming off the win and the Seijan Slam. We saw him turning out those DIs against Brian F.
Yes.
Might have to see if that's going to pop up here at all, or maybe that was a player thing. But Booty Lord had a strong start, but Riddles has capitalized on every mistake so far.
Yes.
Fireball
And
trade.
fantastic stuff with the uppercut closing it out there for that first round. Very strong round for Riddles.
Yeah, capitalizing on every hit, and of course at that point he's happy to go for fireballs. Was trading on a lot of fireballs is a neat thing about the Terry, the light fireball
Yes.
usually ends in trades. Safe jump.
And we're seeing Riddles really bring through the Oki here. He's mixing in highs, lows, and throws to throw DJ off his game.
Yeah, he's got so many options. Throw loop is very, very strong for this character. That's going to be dead, I
Ooh,
think.
that's
That level 2 cash out.
Fantastic. And that's one thing, too. Being a Terry player, you have to be very aware of your resources, how
Yes.
to save and spend it. So great stuff there for Riddles, closing it out in style.
Yeah, very high damage character, but you got to be aware. And like
Nice
you're saying, with the
little
high-low
reset.
pressure, very recently, that heavy punch, the ground wave, now hitting low is just another layer to where you have to be worrying about it.
Yes.
Nice, perfect parry. Just holding it down, ready to see how Booty Lord wants to escape the corner, whether it's going to be drive rush or some of that so bad, doesn't matter. And you can see that it's kind of getting in his head, too, like Booty Lord is starting to hesitate in neutral.
He is. And we're seeing also that he's getting hit on startup with some of his buttons there.
Yeah.
Lord also having a difficult time getting any momentum on his side there.
Finding the knockdown. What
Here
we
we
do,
go.
back throw incident. I don't care if you're going to shimmy me. If I hit it fast enough.
Catches the startup here of the overhead.
Yeah. DJ going for the floss and block. Has such good pressure, but, you know, it's not super quick. If you're ready to challenge that quickly, like if your name is Riddles, I guess.
And there you go. Nice little reset again there with the crouching short.
Just built enough meter there for the level 3. Great awareness. That's going to close out that game, too. So far, it has been all Riddles all the time. Eyebrows for me, too, dude.
Well done. So Booty Lord is going to have to try to really think about how he's going to keep Terry out at this point. It's a little bit of trade there, and that's why he's capitalizing more on that medium kick.
Yeah, I think that like some part of it too is just like he's got to learn to not hesitate in this match because like Riddles is getting away with so much, finding his way in, but at the same time you don't want to be predictable against a player who's so experienced. But once again, getting the back throw, going to see how well he'll be able to capitalize off of this one. So patient,
There
but
we
nice.
go. Nice jackknife there for the anti-air. And
Go
here
for
we
it again.
OD jackknife. Of course, that was buffed there for a better anti-air hitbox.
And that's what I like to see too. Just DP on him. He's only a man. It doesn't matter. Don't pay attention to the seating. I don't know how to count.
Also, DJ really excelling in the drive rush there, but
Nice
Terry
blocks.
fighting his way back.
Oh.
And the Geyser closes it out there. Riddle sitting on match points.
That's another matchup thing too. Like the EX there would be a safe option, would get the offense in so many fireball matches, but that one particularly, getting into the match here, hopefully we can get that back under stream here. So ready. Every single Sobat has just been dealt with. Riddles is locked in on that option. Nice perfect parry. But out of range for the back throw.
That's right. That's the first perfect whip we've seen so far in this matchup.
Forward throw. Gonna see the throw loops. Nice defense here, but not ready for the overhead portion of that.
There we go.
But there's the back throw.
That's right. And here we go. It is now Lord's opportunity to try to keep the pressure, but
Ooh.
everybody just out of throw range there.
Listen, throw is plus
Here
on
we
whiff.
go.
We all know that. That's game universal.
Drive rush cancel combo into machine gun into that level 3. Fantastic stuff here for Lord. This is the biggest conversion of damage he's had so far.
Yeah, it's a huge momentum starter. I don't think a throw is going to be enough to kill here, but it's going to be, unfortunately, Riddles find his way out. And now being burnt out against Terry sucks so bad. This is so hard to interrupt. You have no
That's
meter.
right.
You just have to deal with this. Just goes for the raw flash kick. Are you ready to block this? You are.
Oh my goodness, that is it. Baits
That was
out the level 3.
Huge commitment there for Riddles. I mean, it would have won him the game, but now he's going into that this round 3 with no meter. I guess he just has the confidence he'll build it back up anyway, but if your name is Booty Lord, that's a huge win.
Yes.
Using that sweep.
Okay, crack shoot going to be blocked.
Plus frames. In the ideal circumstances, Booty Lord finding their way out. Send that Sobot. But yeah, using the burn knuckle.
There we go. Nice check there with the jackknife. A little bit of invincible frames and startup there. Reset that neutral.
Plus frames, not ready to parry these challenges. And that's a guarantee at that point. DJ, of course, that level 1 not invincible. Nice awareness from Riddles, abusing that level of the matchup. Gonna make it 3-0. But shout out to Booty Lord, especially at the end. Started to really pick up momentum. Hopefully he can carry that with him into the losers bracket.
Yes.
Where he'll have a chance of redemption.
One thing for sure, Riddles really knew how to keep the pressure, how to keep the plus frames, and when to catch Lord pressing a button.
Yeah.
Because he would either catch him on whiff punish, or he would try to catch him on startup. Very aggressive game there.
He was just really aware of like the things that DJ can do to get in and B+. Just locked in to react to that kind of thing. And it's about making your opponent hesitate and making your opponent unsure of when they want to challenge. And Riddles showing why he's one of the top seeds, one of the people that might be suspected to take this bracket.
That's right.
But it's not going to be easy, especially when you're facing the likes of Ada1 Strider.
Yes.
He's got it. We keep joking. He lives up in Ottawa now, right? So we need to change.
Very good.
We needed to change. 801 is not the area code anymore. I need to see 613 Strider immediately. He's got to start to claim us, bro. We claim him. He's got to claim us. But fading Muslim Piccolo. Godlike name. We got to see. I hope we maybe. I know there's a bunch of side games you can run on Sunday unofficially. Maybe we'll see some Dragon Ball fighters. Maybe if we're lucky.
Possibly.
With a name like that, you got to imagine.
Very popular and successful for sure. I remember 801 Strider. He's a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
Extremely strong, able in Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, and has maintained in every Street Fighter. He's kind of maintained a presence, a lot of lore in Street Fighter 5.
Yes.
Now founding his. He started with Marissa, I believe, in Street Fighter 6, but it's now moved on to Bison. Just a plus frame machine, real bully of a character. We'll have to see how the matchup is going to work out with him because it looks like he'll be facing Zangief, a character who can be played. Like, I feel like there's kind of two kinds of Zangief. You can go a little bit of nuts, but also like he's so solid and neutral that stand medium punch, the anti-air lariat, so much damage, leads to Oki.
Now, Geef is going through a little bit of adjustments in this most recent patch, too. They had retracted a bit of his hitbox range and extended a bit of his hurtbox range now.
It affects, like, you would think, okay, he's just wider, he's going to push you out more.
Yes.
But the ranges at which he kind of sits at now after some block strings are strange and different. And I've seen the negatives, but I'm sure there's positives as well. And maybe we'll see some of them here from Muslim Piccolo, mashing that up.
A little bit more cautiously, especially after these plus frame pressure here of the Dictator.
Yeah, and especially with scissor kicks being a motion input in this game, he's being able to threaten that at any point in neutral. He's able to keep himself quite safe. In the corner already, nice whip punish there from Strider.
And that's it. Geef with the back against the wall. It's always a very stressful type of thing, but holding his own here a little bit.
Yeah, eating these plus frames. It's hard, but you got to find your challenge out. If you sit for too long, you're going to get burnt out.
Okay, here we go, fighting back, but in the burnout state. Geef with that low forward. There we go. Crusher closes it out here for Strider.
That was rough, too. Just like with DJ, level 1 not invincible, you end yourself up at, like, being this kind of character, you have to be really, really conscious of burnout, really conscious of a real checkmate happening to you.
And here we go. That Psycho Crusher has a great corner carry, but the SPD matches up the damage. Here we go.
It adds up so quickly.
Yes. Nice anti-air that crouch fierce, and here we go. Strider on a roll.
Yeah, have to see what Muslim Piccolo is going to go for. Yeah, just trying to represent armor to try and beat out some of these options that Strider's going to, but he's just willing to wait. The whiff punish is going to lead to a lot off of Suzuki's always. Still going to explode, goes for level 3. I think it's a backdash.
Oh, just out of range of level 3 and capitalizing. Is Strider closing it out?
Yeah, nice pickup there, too.
Very
nice. That was a weird one. Got the cross up. But listen, 2 more games at the very least for Muslim Piccolo to adapt and maybe try and find the right option to deal with something like scissor kicks. I'd love to see like some neutral jumps or maybe going for some parries. We really haven't seen very much parry game, but we're seeing a willingness to always threaten that SPD.
That's right. And the DI is confirmed here. Fantastic combo. And
Plus
pressure
frames.
in that player one side.
We're seeing maybe a little bit of hesitating now from Strider too, as we've shown that we can respond to some options.
Yes.
But Strider just waits his turn, go for the anti-air. Low damage, but you get a lot of Oki here.
Yes, and the Psycho Bomb setup
Ooh.
is live. Detonation gets that last bit of damage for 801.
Yeah, gonna be a lot. And it's hard to like hold down because you know, the Bison knows you want to parry. The Bison
Exactly.
knows you want to parry.
Right.
And if they're ready for it, you eat the punish counter throw and you're shaking your head. It's all over. Strider,
Forward,
what a
drop
whip
rush
punish.
cancel. Okay, a little bit of Oki situation with the tick throw.
We're ready to
Oh,
challenge
catches
layout.
the very beginning of the startup of the Super Punch there.
Ooh.
Super Punch, as you go, has armor along the way.
Yeah, like if you catch it the wrong time, and also if you have anything that hits low enough.
Ooh.
I don't know if that jab is low enough. Huge starter
Ooh,
and
my
resets.
goodness,
He's getting
fantastic stuff
confident.
here for Piccolo.
Way to capitalize on an opportunity here.
Knee
Force
press
out the level
nightmare.
1.
Great stuff here for a comeback for Strider, but
Strider's been
comes
so
Piccolo.
ready. I'll super right back at you. I learned it from watching you.
that's right. Caught you pressing a button there, closes it out with the big damage, spending all of his levels. Now Piccolo goes into that third round with no levels at all.
Yeah, it's hard. You've got to build up another 2 meters or else the burnout is a huge concern. Bison's a character that can crank your drive gauge, that back fierce, that stand heavy punch, or back heavy kicker rather, I mean. So many plus frames, and it just the amount of drive gauge damage. And already we're in the corner.
Right.
Sending out those plus frames. Nice patience
Yes,
there, and gets the
great
back throw.
That's it. Corner control for Geef. Now as he gets the drive rush confirmed.
The
Nice
last
stuff
time.
here, headbutt. A lot of plus frames on that.
Lariat not hitting beside today in this version. Manages to sneak out of the corner, try to get started again.
That's right, that mix up on startup, and here we go. Drive rush cancel.
Level 3.
And the bomb planted.
I don't think it's going to be enough. I think that Geef health might just save
Right.
him. It's going to be close, though.
That
Ooh,
is
trust my
11,000
instincts.
right there. Got that magic pixel left. Geef can easily.
Oh,
He did, though. Very, very close. Geef could make a comeback, though. You never know with Zangief.
it's very difficult, but at that point, Strider going for like kind of like that prank DI when your opponent doesn't have enough health to DI back,
Right.
hoping that you'll mess them up for being diligent, have to go for something like a parry. It was a good risk reward there for Strider.
Okay, we're seeing Strider here do a little bit of conditioning, a little bit of shimmying back, hoping that Piccolo is going to put out a button for him to capitalize on.
He's so consistent at checking that stand fierce. He knows it's like one of the
Yes.
better buttons on Geef's armored plus on block. But if you're ready for it, ready for the anti-air as well, so patient.
One thing for sure, also Strider on it with the anti-airs.
Yes.
Very well done.
Extremely consistent. Especially a character like an anti-air that's not especially strong, but you got to be consistent. You can't let Geef get away with it.
Right. Here we go, Geef. Patient in the corner here. A little bit of confirmed there by the scissor kick, but holding his own.
Really like that Strider has kind of adapted in a
Oh.
way. Oh my god, the Lariat
Tried
getting
the
counter
Lariat,
hit. That's
yeah.
tragic. But Strider adapted, ate that one back throw, and is now
Yes.
playing so careful, waiting for it again. He's like, I bet that's a habit of yours. Very smart of Muslim Piccolo not to bite, but still ended up dying in the corner. It's a very common story.
Oh,
Nice parry.
Perfect parry on that DI. And you know, that's a true perfect parry because of the screen freeze.
Yeah.
Overhead. Great juggle
So
here
much
with
damage.
Bison.
Oh my god, level 3?
Okay, got the second bomb planted and straight to that 3. Awesome stuff.
I think we're going to live again, but listen, you got to be looking. If you're Strider right now, you look at the bottom right corner of the screen. That's 3 bars.
goodness.
How crazy is Geef going to go? Are you going to play it safe?
That's right, Geef. Oh man, okay, he's churning the butter here, everybody. Here we go.
Ooh.
Scissor closes it out. Very well done. Good
Yeah.
stuff here.
Very, very solid showing. Very, very clean. Like, Bison's offense is something we talk about a lot. Very, very strong. Very consistent, but the ability to kind of stop that, be like, I'm just ready for my anti-airs. I'll get my offense on my own terms.
Yes.
I'll punish your mistakes. Very, very impressive stuff.
Great stuff, and of course, 801 Strider, we did see a lot of mixed up of tempo. He was being very aggressive. He would try to close the gap by using the scissor kicks. He would rush in and then do a little bit of a drawback, try to bait Piccolo into, whiffing out a button.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff there. But speaking about fantastic, these sunglasses are absolutely great for gaming here. These Zennies, this is the official eyewear of Get On My Level. 10% off site-wide if you type in GOML on their website.
And if you're feeling peckish, if you're in the same time zone as us, it's around lunch. Domino's is supporting us once again. Use code GOML30 for 30% off. Get those savings. The value is crazy. If you're a guy like me, I got to buy a lot of Street Fighter 6 DLC soon for our local. Save money where you can. get yourself fed on some homemade fresh pizzas. Use that code GOML30.
And here we go. Get on my level merch here. Go to startgg/GOML shop. This is Canada's biggest fighting game event, 11 years strong. Awesome hoodies, t-shirts, and baseball caps. Check them out.
And we'd love to make a shout outs to Let's Make Moves Miami, giving us a little discount code. Use code GOML for 15, not 50. Oh my goodness, that might be a little heavy. 15% off of your venue. Brings it down to $50. Great venue. It's 24 hours, all best of 5. We got beach volleyball at the event. Make sure to check that out at startgg/LMMM.
And here you go. Toryukin is Toronto's one-day fighting event, July 26th. Check it out in Toronto, July 26th. A huge number of fighting games here at Toryukin.
Love to see you there. We'll be there once again. We'd also love to shout out our sponsors at Fizzy Brax. I believe we're going into, I'm trying to sneak a look over there. Yes, Fizzy Brax. I thought so. They are running fantasy brackets for this current tournament if you want to check them out. But, of course, they do run support for other tournaments as well. If you're trying to make fantasy snake drafts for GOML events, use Twitch command !Fizzy Brax to get started. And, of course, shout-outs to Blacklight, which we'll be seeing in just a second. These very comfy chairs.
And here we go for these comfortable and stylish Blacklight Esports chairs. Check it out at blacklight.com. Type in code GOML20 for 20% off these esports chairs. They're great for home, tournaments. You can use them for office work. Great chairs, very comfortable.
I gotta admit, there they are right here. I gotta admit, these might be the comfiest. Like, I'm not
really
usually, I will say even personally, I'm not a gamer chair guy.
Yeah.
This is extremely comfortable.
I think, yeah, to be
I
honest,
could nap in this. I could
the
sleep.
best chair I think I've been in. This is a good chair.
If this was in a room, you know, those classic hotel rooms, 7 people in it, there's people on the floor.
Oh,
if this was the chair to sleep in, I would sleep well.
Yeah,
Solid 8 hours. Well rested.
It's good.
But heading into, Bill Jobs, I believe that's, I guess, Walnut, previously known as Walnut Cone. Bill Jobs, I was not aware of.
We saw him in the tournament yesterday.
Yes.
Very strong Guile player.
Yeah, and also I know he used to play Manon, so that's got to be in the back pocket as well.
Very
But
good.
Guile, of course, especially in this version, has a lot of strong tools. But Vital Tide, not someone I'm familiar with, but I'd love to get familiar. Going with that Ryu, a character, huge winner of this balance patch recently, can do approximately 80% to you.
Yes.
Any mistake you make, have to be so consistent.
Now, in this most recent patch, Guile's projectiles, as soon as they leave the screen, he can reintroduce another projectile.
Yes.
So he can have them go through faster. Speaking about projectiles, Denshin has given more strength and quickness to Hadouken and Hashigeki.
Yeah, like even when you get into that level 1, you can even punish. Guile's Fireball is so difficult to punish. Especially having an anti-Fireball level 1 is so huge. We're going to have to see if Vital Tide goes to the farm there. I'm sure he'll get lots of opportunities in this kind of matchup. Playing that classic SF2. Got to see what these guys are going to do.
Yes. Okay, who's going to get that first confirm here?
Ooh, immediately, like a walk forward, perfect parry, ready for anything. Just taking up that screen space, knows that Guile has to hold down back to be very effective.
Vital Tide really testing the neutral range here of Guile. Very patient so far. Blade kick.
Got to see the pace. And that would have been unsafe too. That was a hard call out. We're seeing a lot of crouch medium kick here from Bill Jobs, using the kind of the pullback on the donkey kick to make that happen for him.
Yes, and a very aggressive start here by Bill Jobs. A lot of push blocks, use of bazooka knee, little bit of mix up here for the third loops.
Listen, no chip death in this game unless you're burnt out. All the opportunities, speaking of which, uses the EX just to give himself a little bit of space, get into Denshin, make Guile worry about a fireball for once.
Right.
But Bill Jobs has been like unfazed. He's like, I'm going to throw it out. If you're ready to deal with it, that's whatever. There's been no successful jump-ins yet. Maybe when that happens, he'll adapt. But for now, Bill Jobs very confident. Huge conversion.
That's right. Great drive rush cancel combo here. And we're seeing Ryu. Tons of pressure in the corner. But here we go. Ryu trying to fight his way through.
Guile has so many options, maintains that charge while moving forward, trying to hold Vital Tide down, who like has been very solid so far, but just has not had an opportunity against the brick wall that is Bill Jobs.
That's right. And, you know, the thing that's really creating that wall is the sonic boom pressure that Jobs has been doing. He's falling behind the plus frames of those sonic booms to continue his relentless pursuit of pushing Ryu into that player one side.
Yeah, being in burnout, the fireball being even more plus, Bazooka being plus, huge whiff. Not quite ready for it though. Vital Tide might find their opportunity here.
That's right, not getting confirmed, going for the throw.
Bill Jobs unfazed. Nice check.
Catches the start up, that's right, of the overhead. And Guile's overhead, you can see it coming 10 million miles away. So funny.
Just the willingness to go for a check like that on drive rush when you have no health left shows confidence. Shows like, this is what I'm going to do regardless of the health situation. I'm not nervous. This is still winnable. You're one level 3 win.
Fantastic.
And like I said, until I see a successful jump in, first real jump of the game, he's ready for it.
That's it.
Vital Tide.
Fantastic stuff there. Closes it out. Huge conversion on that meaty jump in. Ties up the rounds very well. And that was one thing that was a good adjustment that we saw Vital Tide doing too. He was checking with his standing short, some of his fastest frame moves to try to cut through the pressure of what Bill's doing.
Nice check again.
Very good.
This guy's both these players very patient, but Vital Tide having to show that patience a little bit more on the back foot against Guile, but has taken every opportunity and absolutely maximized it. We are on game 1 still. These guys are playing so slow, so patient.
Right. And the Soloplex too, that's a lot of plus frames on the side of Ryu here. Counter hit for everybody.
That drive gauge damage as well. The perfect parries have been insane. One hit confirmed, that was sick.
Fantastic, huge damage here over to Bill Jobs.
Yeah, and it's not going to be quite burnout, but now you're in threat, right? You can only block a couple sonic booms. You can only whip one parry. Huge punish on the sonic boom.
That's right, catches you on the wake up here.
Didn't finish their blade. Oh no, had the opportunity. Flexed out right at the end. Saw he didn't have level 3 and wasn't quite sure what he could do. Anything would have worked. We've all been there. Left himself in burnout though.
But Ryu trying his best to work his way away from the wall. The sonic boom was the final thing that closed it out there for Bill. Very close game. Very, very close.
I love that though. We went back to player cam. Vital Tide does not look phased at all. He's like, it happens. I'll get another opportunity to win if I need it. Now willing to challenge with the DP.
And that was the first Shoryuken we've seen so far. Very, very good.
It's very, very hard to be like truly random and like knowing like I've conditioned my opponent, they've forgotten about this, I might as well represent it. The variation is very strong.
Nice cross cut with the flash kick. And here we go with the low forward. Bill keeping the pressure up, push blocking. Ryu into the corner.
Oh, challenges was sweet. A little bit of that rant coming through. Oh my goodness. Nice. Yeah, ready for the DI. Bill Jobs have been throwing that out so often. It wasn't super clear how close he was to the corner, but that should be enough.
Fantastic. Closes it out with style. Bill, 1 round up.
I feel like that's been a huge difference maker. It's like Vital Tide has gone to either low drive or burnout so consistently. Huge check. Going towards the corner now. Pretty even on drive gauge and on resources. Just trying to protect that airspace, make sure the Guile cannot jump out. But Bill Jobs seems more than happy just to walk forward, take up that space slowly with that forward heavy kick.
And that's the thing, you know, when we're seeing with the cross-up right there, we're seeing Ryu trying to capitalize on his fastest buttons to make sure that he's not getting any trades or counters with Guile.
Have you seen? He's ready for that. I think he's buffering a punish behind every single one of those perfect parries. The diligence. Plus frames. Have to respect it.
Here we go. Speaking about plus frames, Hash here.
Imperfect parry. Goes with the perfect parry right after. Huge. Gets that mid screen. Recovered so much screen space. It wasn't even about the Oki, just getting out of the corner.
That's right.
Removing the threat. Give you more space to walk back in.
Check there with the standing shorts. And here we go. Once again with this heavy projectile pressure.
Vital Tide. There it is again, though.
Vital Tide in that burnout state, but Bill still more of a health deficit here.
Yeah, the resources, but listen, you're going to eat a couple of these, and yeah, the perfect conversion there.
Well done.
Because usually people have to do like the drive rush, crutch, medium kick, and a flash kick, but he knows when he can go for that forward heavy punch. Knows when he can cash out and make it count. This is one of those examples where the score is not showing the full grasp of what's going on. Right now, it's 2-0 up for Bill Jobs. This has been such a severe back and forth. I just think the drive gauge management has been like the biggest factor.
You're right.
Where every single time that our friend Tide here, Vital Tide, he's had the opportunity to cash out. He's been cashing out really large, but he's spending a lot of drive every time he does it.
But it's very interesting, though, because when you're speaking about burnouts, truly, Ryu is the one that eats people's resources faster with the blade kick than anything else. But I feel Vital Tide feels that the blade kick is a little too risky in the Guile matchup. But here we go, capitalizing for the drive rush cancel combo here.
Nice parry.
Nice parry.
Ready for it? Nice parry right back.
Yes.
An equal exchange. We're having a conversation. We're saying the same stuff to each other.
Okay. Nice check here. Long range competition with the projectile war on the screen and Ryu. But we're seeing Ryu trying to be the aggressor more and coming in. Nice counter
ready
DI.
for it. The recovery on Sonic Boom is just so good. Just like that. I don't think it's going to be over, but next touch. Trip is a concern. Yeah, you got to take a big risk at that point.
Great stuff with the Sonic Cross, closing it out. This is match point here for Bill.
We're going to have to see some sort of adaptation for Vital Tide, maybe going forward. We haven't seen any of like the Denjin and then waiting on the level 1 reaction. No. I feel like Bill Jobs is thinking about it, but Vital Tide might be so locked in on checking some of these options.
Right. He was doing that earlier in the first game, but in the adaptations. Yep.
That's a punish. That's crazy. He knows.
Right.
Bill Jobs is studied.
Yeah.
Real computer scientist.
Nice check there with the standing short again. Of course, we're seeing once again Vital Tide low on those resources.
Yeah, next can't even afford to parry. Yeah, it's going to get burnt out no matter what. You're in a bad scenario kind of right now. Level 3 is available right into it. I don't know if it's going to be enough. It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think the scaling, but I think it's going to
I think it's not Geef. I think this is it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff here. And you could really tell Bill making sure Ryu was out of resources, then closed the gap. Used up all his resources to try to clutch the win. Very smart and great job there by Bill Jobs.
There is something so huge about being unconditional.
Right,
unconditionable.
Right.
Like, our friend, Bill Jobs, running it down, can just maintain the same game plan, was allowed to take risks. Like, his timing was always like hard to follow and just never stopped that solid Guile game plan. Made it look like, listen, on the score, a very solid 3-0.
Right.
But that was hard fought. I'm very excited to see if we can see more out of Waves later in this bracket.
Completely. And one thing for sure, you could also see the adaptations that were going through Ryu was doing. Initially, we saw a lot of Denjin usage. We were seeing some blade kicks in his first couple of games. But then as Bill was keeping the varying speeds of Sonic pressure, Vital Tide didn't feel as comfortable doing the more risky setups. So, but he did the best that he could. But here we go into our next match, Misocrats versus Thunder.
Thunder, the Langus, one of the folks that is another projected potential winner of this bracket. Very heavy-duty grinder, has been playing. He switched, I think, full to Akuma in this version.
Yes.
It's what he's been rocking. Very strong player. I think I was actually back in Toronto TopTiers. I think I was at the first local this guy was ever at. He won that local. No problem. That was back in the SF5 days as well.
Yes.
And I don't think he stopped grinding since.
Yeah, he had a fantastic showing in Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
For sure. Ironically, Akuma in Street Fighter V later in the life of that game had some pretty significant nerfs.
Yeah. And for now, though, Akuma, he's always getting those little slaps on the wrists. He's still alive. But it looks like Misocrate's playing that Terry, and we will need to change the names here. Unless it's a big surprise, but I believe that it is Thunder on the Akuma.
So we're going to have a 9,000 health character versus a 10,000 health Terry here.
Yeah, going to have to see if that ends up mattering. I think Terry has all the tools that they need to kind of deal with this matchup. Very strong anti-air DP to blow through all the air fireballs. Has pretty good, like, using that the heavy kick, quarter scroll back heavy kick is a very good anti-fireball option. Kuma's character with very strong fireball. Nice bait out on Terry.
And this is fantastic movement that we're seeing here by Thunder. And the newest move to Street Fighter 6 from Akuma is that Adamant Flame Terry. Receiving some pressure there, plus frames into that forward throw.
Ooh, I like it. He did go for the anti-air, and he went for his fastest one, which is the Crouch Fears, but I think just the angle on it is going to be a little slow startup. That was almost a real turnaround at the end there.
A drive rush overhead further confirmed here, and Akuma with that corner carry, player one side again.
Yeah, right into the corner, hanging out with that elephant in the back. We might hear for a while. Nice blocks on the overhead. Seeing a lot of drive rush overhead from Thunder right now. Maybe just trying to make a check.
Right.
It's a very easy way to stack up damage if your opponent's not willing to challenge. Misocrats had a very good
trying to get that jump in confirmed, just out of the throw range there.
Yeah, has found a lot of mileage with the shimmies. That, of course, is going to be enough. And Thunder has been showing, both these guys, honestly, but Thunder especially has been showing, has just gotten to like 1 pixel left of drive gauge, but just narrowly avoiding that burnout.
Fantastic stuff there. And, of course, Thunder playing Akuma just the way Akuma is meant to be played. Very aggressive. Stealing turns.
Ooh.
Hey, here
we
go.
say that. Unfortunate drop there. Not quite ready for an optimal punish. Got something at least, but Thunder swinging right back. Not nervous.
Okay, a little bit of shimmy situation. Hoping Mitsu is going to press a button to capitalize on.
Well, what we're seeing from Miso, and I think probably what Thunder is noticing, he's patient, waiting for a shimmy or something.
Yes.
When Miso's not teching, they're kind of just chilling, right? And that's exactly what you want to see if you're Thunder. Give yourself more opportunities to sneak your way in, extend your turn. Nice whiff punish.
Okay, Mitsu patiently waiting here. Great use of Geyser, but a solid confirm here from Akuma.
Yeah, started off with that perfect parry as well. Buffering behind that in neutral, especially when you perfect parry a fireball, is like a very good sign of a studied player, a player that knows how to approach the matchup.
Now, one thing for certain, Mitsu does have access to longer ranging normals. Here we go, baits out the Shoryuken, and fantastic crack shoot to that rising up
Finds
tackle.
the ender. Do the drive rush for the Oki, but just like that, Suzer out of range. Thunder's throwing that fireball, trying to bait out a jump, trying to change the way you're going to approach your offense. Had to see how Misocrate's staying very patient.
Here we
nice
go.
check.
Fantastic confirmed, tries to capitalize off the throw, but okay, a lot of baits here, and the Demon Raid is going to give the cross up here to Thunder.
We're seeing a lot of crouch fierce anti-airs, and I just don't know. Against a character like Akuma, a character's already difficult to anti-air, level 3 again. Might have to see an adaptation. It's a little harder to do, but I feel like Thunder's getting away with so many jumps.
And one thing that we're seeing Thunder is capitalizing on are those cooldown frames from the whipped grabs.
Yeah.
And that's because of Akuma's quick walk speed. When he's shimmying back and forth, he can make you bait a lot of different things.
Yeah, he can get out of ranges of like some crouch medium kicks that would usually catch other people's walkbacks, especially if you're hesitant about it, especially if you're delaying. It looks like Miso might be
I would really like to
else.
see Miso playing JP, to be honest. Yes, that would be truly fantastic.
I think it's another thing too.
She's a great JP.
Yeah. And another thing too, when you're in this kind of matchup, especially with Thunder's going for so many fireballs, JP has the ground projectile, which can like trade in your favor a lot of the time.
Yes.
The dynamic of the matchup changes. Though I will say, when I play at least JP in this matchup, maybe I'll be shown, like it gets even harder to anti-air this character sometimes. Air fireball becomes something that's really difficult to check. You don't really have the invincibility to get through it.
Right.
We'll have to see how if Thunder's just going to maintain solid, continue to do what he's doing, or if he has a different game plan in mind for a character like JP.
This is interesting here. We're seeing Miso changing her buttons there from how she was playing Terry.
I think maybe, maybe there's a macro that they're trying to go for, but also it could also just be.
I like that.
There could also just be like a double check thing, like
Possibly.
when you're between matches, you're down 2-0. Take your time, take a breath, sip your water.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Sometimes you need to even think and review what's
Take 15, do a lap, by all means.
Okay, here we go. So we're going to have one of the best zoners in the game versus Akuma.
Just like that, though, that Crouch Fierce it's a serviceable anti-air, but against a character like Akuma with dive kick, with demon flip, with so many options to get around your anti-airs, it's gonna be quite difficult. We're gonna have to sneak our way out of the corner somehow here.
Now, a change in what Thunder is doing. We're seeing a lot more of the enhanced fireballs. Those are the charged Hadoukens compared to the regular Hadoukens.
I guess maybe to try and break through goes for the
Turbo.
That command grab reset. Maybe to try and break through some of like the usually the ghosts are a very low commitment fireball, and so charging it up to maybe set up a better opportunity for yourself.
And we're seeing Mitsu really trying to establish the neutral here.
Ooh, I really like that.
Great stuff. Gets the juggle into the corner here and cross up by the cross cut there. Here we go. JP in the corner.
Nice jump out.
Very well done.
Running that offense. Going to be safe on block here. Just waiting. Ready for the anti-air. So difficult to do.
Catches the input there with the invincible startup of the Shoryuken.
Nice. Sneaks under. Didn't have the level 3, so couldn't have catched up, but has full drive meter. Let's see what you can make happen here. This is pretty much curtains. But Thunder, if anyone's going to make this comeback, it might be Thunder.
That's right. Thunder does have access to a full CA at this point, and the chip damage is real. Demon Raid caught by the tear in the sky. Mitsu gets the round.
You got to try something eventually, but yeah, so far this change to JP, just the game plan change has worked out really, really well.
Okay, that was a nice feint for the Demon Raid there. teleport.
Ooh.
Here we go.
It finds the full combo, a reset.
Okay, Psycho Ghosts doing their job.
Ooh, catches the jump back. I think Thunder, yeah, willing to DP there. Make it stop.
Ooh. We're seeing a lot of jumping.
That's what I mean. Is that like some of the air fireballs difficult to deal with, dive is difficult to deal with, but we're seeing we're seeing the anti-air, we're seeing air to airs, so many different options from Miso is they're trying to adapt.
Yes. Here we go, Lavushka for that Psycho Ghost pressure here.
Just sneak out of the corner.
Great blocking by Thunder. Very well done.
But Miso gets really what they wanted at the end, which is out of that corner. Misses the conversion, unfortunately.
Right.
Bruno is now concerned, just using the spike to stop the fireball DI or DR.
And that's it. Here we go with the Demon Ray dive kick cancel combo here. Closes it out.
Yeah, with CA here is definitely being enough damage. A great showing down to Misocrats. Really turned things around in that final game with the switch. Have to see maybe if they go to a little more JP on the loser side of the bracket, but we'll have another opportunity. Thunder, though, staying consistent. So many, like, there was that one moment where we're starting to get away with from him, and then he did the crosscut DP with the portal on top of him, and I was like, he's locked in. Like, that takes so much fortitude to not get overwhelmed by the amount of stuff on screen.
Yes, yes. And it's very interesting to see. I feel that Mitsu is a great carry player, but feels much more comfortable, and maybe there's even more muscle memory, more familiarity with JP.
And there's like, it's a character that's been out longer, you
Yes.
probably played, especially people were grinding ranked at the beginning of the game, a little more, maybe some more games, but like, I feel like, yeah, sometimes, even if it's not like a matchup thing, sometimes just switching a character can reset your mental.
Completely.
Or changing your buttons, apparently.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's a full button change or just a check, but like
right.
anything you can do to just reset, check your phone, take a drink of water, don't let it overwhelm you, because Miso played consistently very well.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Very, very strong games there. And of course, Thunder clutching it out. And very good. We saw a lot of change of tempo, a lot of the regular fireballs, enhanced fireballs, options, all of the options from the Demon Raid coming in. Very, very good. Very quick adaptations, too.
Ready to take advantages of the new things in the matchup, being like, it's JP, no anti-air DP, I'm going to start doing some stuff. Some funky stuff I usually won't be able to do. But we're going to be getting into this next match here. I'm trying to sneak. They closed the window on the stage on us. We can't quite see what's going on. But we have some. Oh, I see Zickles.
Oh,
Zickles,
okay.
I see. I recognize he's wearing the ECT the sweater today.
So Cycle's a very strong Kimberly player.
Oh, is it against Will? Is this an Ottawa team kill?
Ooh.
Against Mental Willness. Will is, he's kind of like Will's a goofy guy. He's a Zangief player usually, but has also played some Lily.
Okay.
Kind of like our archivist. He records everything. He's probably setting up recording right now on his phone to take some photos for the Ottawa FGC Twitter.
His phone's going there. He's getting ready.
It's an unfortunate team kill, but when people are this talented, we're going to run into each other.
Aww.
I would say this is pretty historically can go in Ziggle's favor. But Will, listen, Zangief, we can see anything. You get enough SPDs, it all works out. Ziggle's, of course, staying on Kimberly this season. He's doing an interview.
Will's a great guy. He was.
Hey, Will, we have places to go.
He's in the TO. He was my bracket TO.
Yes.
Yes.
Hard-working dude. One of the main Battle City crews. So coming along and ready to do whatever work that he can.
That's wonderful.
He was bringing over food and stuff. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you got to kill him. You got to kill him, Jaden. You got to get rid of him. But Will, I hope you can lock in.
That's right. Only one can survive.
Yes.
Very good. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup here because Psychos plays a very strong Kimberly. Kimberly archetype is Ninja archetype, full screen, extreme aggressive, and crush down.
Yeah.
And of course we have Yeef, a wall of muscle, pressure, armor, and grapples.
Yeah, and so you have a lot of really good options. I think that Stand Medium Punch is one of the better drive rush checks in the game. Kimberly's, of course, a character that tries to sneak their way in. They don't have a lot of range. That Stand Fierce is a lot further. There's a lot more that she can do at ranges than the buffs that she got.
Yes.
But I feel like it could all fall apart. You don't have an invincible DP. Zangief Lariat is a really good way to check the teleport. No matter what side you're on, it can just kind of auto-crit. Start it off immediately. Okay.
That's right. Tetra Storm to start it off here, but
I respect it, but oh no.
For it.
I respect it, but it's all falling apart so quickly.
That's
Going
right.
for the hard reads.
Got that setup here, and those can setups, remember, they have been adjusted in this most recent patch. You can do the light medium and the medium heavy.
Just back-dashing away, back to sweet.
detonation.
These guys are having too much fun. They play each other all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
Sweet. The willingness.
Oh, man, that's a great Lucian up kick cross up there. Fantastic. Great stuff there. It's good to see everybody everybody having so much fun.
Yeah, Zickle's pulling off every prank in the book. There's the little crouch spam. Make sure that you know we're expressing ourselves. It's an art form, I think. Huge armor. Oh my God, there's no interaction.
Crazy. I didn't expect that at all.
Stars passing in the night sky. Nice, perfect ray.
Fantastic stuff.
It just never stops.
Huge carry.
All the way to the corner.
Oh my gosh, but look at the damage.
It doesn't matter. It's about the mental damage.
That's right.
It's about the damage in your heart, deep in your chest.
Everybody in the burnout state there. Okay, now go the super muscle and the armor. Oh my
Be able to
goodness.
confirm it a level 3 off of one of these. Level 3 soon for Zangief as well. Nice whip punish.
Oh.
Huge opportunity.
And here we go with the rush down. Super rush down here. Kimberly trying to get the cross up. Oh my gosh.
Nice check.
Siberian Express.
But you know the Ziggles is never going to stay on the ground that long against Geef. Nice weight.
Oh. That's gonna be, yeah, I was going to say, that's baited out there.
Oh, but he drops the combo. Finds it anyway.
Fantastic. Great stuff here. Cycles clutch, closing it out. That last round was very close. Very close.
It's just a back and
Super
forth.
aggressive.
I love
everybody.
I love that we saw the reset. I could recognize Will's laugh from a mile away. The second that combo dropped into the reset, Will just lost his mind. Gonna have to see if things maybe slow down a little bit here or if they get crazier. Will we up the amp or will we chill?
Okay, capitalizing on the elbow drop here. Here we go, Kimberly with the can setup again. Fantastic for the overhead.
Yeah, meaty DI there. Will not quite ready for that.
And this is a tough place for Geef to be in. You know, he can't shimmy back and forth. He has a harder time with the back against the wall.
Yeah, and you have the Ziggles loves that jump instant EX Tatsu, like the TK Tatsu to bait out throws.
Oh, here we
It
go.
can beat out a lot of what Geef wants to go for. It's hard for him to punish. I'm surprised I didn't know that broke DI. The more you know.
Yes. Oh, fantastic jump in combo here. Gets the full 7 hits.
Yeah, full conversion off of that forward heavy kick. On that counter hit. This is a very rough position to be in for Zangief, but you do have 2 bars. You can't challenge a DI. But Ziggle's more than happy to just go, just like Kimberly says, in and out. Just like sneak in, get your damage.
That's right.
He's going to go for a prank, it looks like. Yeah, dash up level 3.
That's right. Fantastic stuff. That is hard to read. Good stuff there for Cycles closing it out. That is 2-0.
The second I saw him go back and read the EX reload, I was like, something diabolical is going to happen here in Toronto. The gates of something will open in Toronto here.
And that's what makes matches like this even more dangerous, because what's going on is it's very unpredictable.
Yes.
And unorthodox here. Very
Manages to jump
aggressive
out,
play
though.
by both players.
Ooh, and got the read on the jump out, but couldn't find the air-to-air.
Here we go. Kimberly trying to take her turn and
Ooh!
Oh my gosh, there you go for the Russian slam. Great stuff here for Will.
Caught the forward heavy kick on the way in. That's the kind of gameplay that Will loves. It's just the hard reads. He's going for air SPD over and over. Sends the lariat on block.
Yes. And he's really trying to lock Kimberly down on the ground.
But gets the bar for the drive reversal, finds their way in. Will's also in burnout now, does not have the ability to super out of this. He's going to have to hold all this until he builds the meter.
Yes, and that was great blocking for Will, too. And here we go. Push block to the corner. Healed up and ready to go.
Huge conversion, ready for the air-to-air. And that should be enough into the level 2.
That's
I think
right.
even with that Geef health, it's going to be enough. But wow, Will blocked for so long.
Bushin scramble closes it out there. Very, very good stuff. Cypress up around.
Yeah, going into the second game now, or we go like the potentially final round of the second game. I think it's been a little more back and forth. I think folks might have expected this to be, myself included, a little more one-sided, but Will's been making some really hard reads that have been working out really well. And I think if he can find that, you know, you're only like 3 hard reads away at any point with Geef.
Here we go.
Goes for the
Gets
reload.
that can set up here, and Bushin command grab.
Oh, he's gone for a little setup and then goes for the air throws. Knows what's going to happen.
Well
he
done.
keeps finding these opportunities where he's kind of playing with his food, but it's all in good sport.
Yep, 2-0.
So far, going to have to see if these... Oh, I think we ran to the end of the...
Very good.
Oh, that was 3.
That
Listen,
was 3.
that was chaotic. You can't blame me for
It
that one.
was.
That was a lot of back and forth. That was a lot of new... I was exposed to a lot of stuff.
And that's the funny thing, too. Even for us on our end, we're more used to what the pace is going to be on the screen.
Yeah.
This was anything goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any option
really
could show up. You
fun
could just do...
and
yeah. Will hitting
exciting.
that instant like air SPD on the forward heavy kick. We're going to see some... we're inventing new stuff. We're entrepreneurs here on the stage at GOML.
Fantastic. very aggressive mix-up, Oki heavy play here by Cycles. And of course, mental willness, holding his own. I think because these two play against each other and some of the cross-up combos that Kimberly does, he was able to have some very solid blocks on that, but in the end, unable to close it out.
And Will's like a very, I think Will has probably, people I face, he has a really good attitude. Like, it doesn't matter if he loses, he could lose like 5-0, or he gets some games, he's just happy to be playing. And I think that he had some really good opportunities, some really good reactions in that set. But ultimately, Zickles, just that consistency. And with the pranks, every trick in their little gadget belt that they could. So much graffiti shenanigans. And it looks like, based on the names I can't see out there, we're going to see Rami, very strong.
Oh, very good.
Very good. Yeah, we got a little note.
Setting it up right now. Yeah, and the one thing, too, is, you're right, Jinx and Rami are up right now.
Rami, one of Montreal's strongest warriors historically. Going to be sticking on that Rashid all the way through the season. Has every tool that you would want. Probably one of the better DLC characters to come out. Rivaling Akuma. That level 2, still very strong.
Yes. One thing for sure, we're going to see that Rashid really held his own in Street Fighter V and still carrying that momentum into Street Fighter 6.
Yes. Very popular. I'd say probably the most popular character that came out with 5. You know, everyone liked the theme song. The Rashido. It was very fun, very hype.
Very good.
Excited to see who you see from iJinx. Either way, they're going to have to be ready for. I feel like Rashid has so many tools that you're maybe not ready to deal with in Street Fighter. Like he has like the pseudo air dash. He has lots of plus frames, lots of ways to go into weird high lows. The level 2 is just so difficult to deal with. You're going to have to see what character is really going to make that work for you.
I'm trying to see here who Jinx had played the other day, but here we
Recognize the name,
Yes.
Listen, I'm ready for him to show me everything about his gameplay right now. I'm ready to be introduced, but first we got to make sure the buttons are right. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be like, oh man, why do we keep dying to DI? And it's like, oh, my DI button was wrong.
That's right. That's the worst way to go.
Absolutely.
Oh, my button got messed up. But here we go with the button check. We hope you guys are having a great time here, hanging out with us at Get On My Level, and we are being streamed on Toronto Top Tiers. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we hope you guys are having a great time on Twitch and YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to see the Dalsim. This matchup, I like, you couldn't read it. I was going to do like the grimace and like the breathing through my teeth. I imagine this matchup is rough, but you do have the advantage of Rashid really wants to go for that heavy projectile to set up the tornado mid-screen.
Yes.
You do have teleport to deal with that, but of course Rami's got to be aware of that as well. And of course you're in the same scene as someone like Spooter, as someone like, there's a lot of very strong like, slices from Ottawa, a lot of very strong Dalsims around to get practice. So there's going to be no matchup unfamiliarity.
Okay, catches the start up there with the slide. Great punish counter confirms.
Yeah, faking out of the teleport now, trying to find their space, trying to get established, get those plus frames.
We're seeing a lot of fantastic movement here by Jinx, and very aware with the anti-airs.
Ooh, sneaks out. That was a lot of meter for Rami to have to spend. But yeah, those Dalsim buffs, he gets them to float so much faster. A little easier to maneuver the screen, get to the space you want to. Nice air to air. Oh my god.
Very well done.
Plus frames.
Very aware of his surroundings. Jinx doing a great job keeping Rami out.
That should be enough. Might not even need the level 1. Yeah, optimal stuff.
There, awesome. Very solid round there by Jinx.
I'm already very impressed. Nice check. Yeah, he's been baiting out a lot of parries too from Rami, which like we said, it stacks up. Like not only are you minus in neutral, but you're eating that drive gauge damage.
Now the interesting thing is, Rashid not used to this type of pressure. Here we go with the tornado pressure. He wants to have full screen momentum and mix-up momentum right up in your face. But here we go with Jinx locked in the corner here. Rashid's taking his turn.
Yeah, you do have level 2, so you can reversal out, but of course it's like not throw immune. Dalsim's probably got like the weakest reversal supers in the game. Difficult to get out, and if Rami's not going to give you the opportunity to do free.
Right.
Going into this third round, both these guys have 2 bars. It's scarier for one of these characters.
Okay, and Yoga Torch has been buffed there for a little bit of a better anti-air, but here we go with Yasar on the screen.
This is so difficult. It's already started. Yeah, the high-lows, very difficult.
Right.
Because of the lingering tornado, you get an optimal combo here. So much damage into a safe jump.
Nice checks there with the crouching jabs.
That's great. I expect him to go to level 3 to recover some of that drive gauge, but he opted to try and do it for another setup, and now he finds himself in burnout. Nice check. A little surprised, but maybe he's ready for this kind of game plan. Bait them into action. Gets level 2 again!
Yes. And here we go with the mix, a fantastic side switch there. Mixer closes it out. Great stuff, Ramy. Very clutch.
I can't believe that he built that level 2 meter, but part of it is in the season of the game, of course. Now when you tech a throw, which sometimes you do just by offense by delaying your throw, you get a little bit of that meter back.
Right.
Building 2 level 2s in one round is a little devious.
Okay, empty jump throw here to start things off by Rashid. And of course the Eagle Spike has unbelievable corner carry.
Yes. And can also just be like YOLO option once in a while if you're just trying to catch a recovery of a limb or just want to hedge your bets against a character like Sim, who usually cannot punish you super hard unless the stars align.
There we go.
Nice whiff punish.
Fireball setup, but here we go. We're seeing Rashid taking his turn again.
Plus frames being used. Messed up the drive cancel, giving the opportunity for IJs to get out of the corner, but Ramy, unfazed, just continues his offense, uses that drive rush to make sure that he's not going to be on the back foot.
Well done.
And we're seeing Ramy kind of hang back, trying to whiff punish these long-range Sim normals.
A little bit of trade, but we're seeing Dulcine baiting
Huge
out
bait.
the OD. Spinning mixer here, and straight into that Inferno level 1.
Yeah, it sets up a really good knockdown, a lot of damage, really chips the drive gauge just because of all the hits.
Still taking some pressure and turn here. Rashid trying to get a solid confirm.
Yeah, we're seeing IJ trying to check these drive rush, but it's a little difficult, especially when you're changing your timing on the buttons. Like we're seeing early and late from Ramy, difficult to anticipate. I think level 1 could have killed there, but IJ held onto the meter. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him fight it for that again, because we saw that in the last game when he could have won off that level 3.
Right.
And just like that, it's going to be CA. It's going to be really low on scaling. I don't know if there's any extra scaling on this move. So far, not looking like it. So close.
Oh, the magic pixel is left. Here we go.
Not ready for the anti-air. But in burnout, anything takes it at this point, but finds the hit. Doesn't finish. Next hit.
Okay, fireball.
But Ramy can block a lot more than Dawson. Double KO!
Oh my gosh, wow. Fantastic stuff here for Ramy. Man, gets by on the double KO. Unbelievable. Who would have thought? That's crazy.
It was very strong for IJX being willing to just like go for the teleport, be like, listen, I don't want to be back foot. I don't want to have to react to Rashid. I'm just going to go in. Ramy ready for the jab.
Nice anti-air counter hit. Works his way out of the corner here. Dulcine on the aggressive.
Going back to the mid-screen, drive gauge is in the advantage slightly, but listen, every single time there's a juggle anywhere where we see the anywhere, like the force knockdown, Ramy's ready for the conversion just for the screen carry, get to the corner where Sim's can be least comfortable, sneaks out with a double jump.
Right. Fantastic timing there on the reversal, and here we go, Dulcine. Getting his setups with the fireballs on the ground. You know, very interesting whenever we see, whenever he's planning to do with the yoga float to the teleport.
Oh, wow.
There we go. And the wall splat capitalizing with the Yoga Inferno again.
Next touch could do it, and then we just send the DP. You know, one touch could do it for either of us. And I think when you're when you're ahead like that, you can take those risks. I have 2 games to lose. If I DP here and it wins, now I'm on set point. MTL Ramy.
That's right. Lots of pressure here by Rashid, but he's going to get that punish counter, and of course that Eagle Spike.
Unfortunately, a little bit of deer in headlights, just crouched under that jump in, no anti-air, but now we're finding a challenge from Jinx. He's finding the right frame traps. Huge whip punish again from Ramy.
Okay, Jinx. You know, really trying to get his conversion of damage here, but that is going to be huge damage over to Ramy. I think that's going to be it.
I think it's going to be close. And no CA, I think you live here, but you can set up a meaty fireball. You have throw is going to kill. You can't OS, right, because you don't have a fast enough reversal. And now you have no drive gauge, 2 bars of meter, and a dream.
And this is going to be a very hard comeback here for Jinx at this much of a life deficit.
Oh, that was so clean.
Very smart. Uses those armored frames to clutch the win. Fantastic stuff here by Ramy.
Yeah, continue along. The seeding continues to be correct. Good job to those guys. Just so many strong players coming down.
And that's one thing we really have to say. The score doesn't represent the matches that we have seen. Jinx did a very, very good job with Dulcine, with just unable to capitalize and clutching out the round wins.
It's just a matchup where it's a rough matchup. If you make a mistake like that and give the leeway, and Rami, of course, so good at like he's whiff punishing the limbs.
Yes.
He's finding the jumping timings. He's interrupting the floats. Like he's just like, it's not like he's one-dimensional, right? Like it's not going to be as easy as like checking someone just dashing in with limbs. I think that they did a very good job of checking him, but ultimately that level 2 comes down, we're all the same.
Right.
That level 2 comes down, you don't have a DP, suddenly, you know,
suddenly
we're united.
That's right.
We joint suffering. It's very good for building relationships. We're all the same. But we're going to be moving into the next match, trying to see if I can sneak my way over. But thank you so much for joining us. Of course, still Chunk Brixton, joined by Kucha Kate. It's been wonderful holding it down. I think we're going to be running all the way into top 24.
Yes.
I don't know if that stream is right after.
No.
Because I know we're streaming Fatal Fury as well.
Yes,
yeah,
I
think
it's
they'll be here.
5. It's
Gotcha,
at 5 or 7. Yes.
It's around tonight. We'll be whittling down to top 8 by the end of the night. So if you're checking us out, spending your Saturday with us, thank you so much.
And these matches have been absolutely unbelievable. And a couple of the top players that are here at Get On My Level. We have Daigo, Riddles, who we just saw earlier, Thunder and 801 Strider we just saw earlier, FluxWave.
Yeah, FluxWave's another very strong Montreal player. I would say those two are probably the most like consistent competitors in Street Fighter 6. Of course, there are other very strong Montreal players, but I feel like Montreal is very there's like very strong Gray and Blue players, very strong Strive, very well-rounded. But right now we have Small Caps. This has been a really solid Ryu I've been able to watch over the years. Really entertaining to watch. We have the return of Dawn. I believe Dawn was Ken in that matchup against the Bison earlier. So we get to see a return. Get to see a real Shoto off. We're going to see a lot of Hadoukens, a lot of Shoryukens, a lot of very standard stuff. Of course, these characters are a little juiced in this version, in this game. They have new special moves to work with. They have more options.
Ryu able to really capitalize off of the Hadoukens. And, you know, varying strengths and speed of them. And, of course, Ken being more of the aggressive rushdown Shoto, capitalizing more on the heat rush and the Shoryuken pressure. So we're going to have to see who is going to close it out.
Yeah, we're going to have to see like what is being utilized. Are we going to see the Dragon Lashes? Are we going to slow things down? Anti-air DP is all you really need to get started. But neutral might go the way of Small Caps. But, you know, every opportunity there for Dawn. If they find the right whiff punishes, find the right range. It's just that forward. There's just a couple moves with Ryu. That forward heavy punch being, I think, +3 or +4. It's so difficult to deal with. Even not just the plus frames after, but the drive damage you're taking from the move, plus the follow-up, whatever they frame trap into. You're going to have to see the range at which Dawn is going to hang out at. Or if Small Cap's even going to go to that option. They know better than me. There's a reason I'm here. Let's get started.
Okay, a little bit of neutral heavy start to the game here.
Yeah, already
everybody checking with the standing short.
They're having fun with that button.
Right?
Yeah. And finding convergence as well. Usually Drive Brush does not lead into much on that, but they're getting so many counter hits off of it, they can get stronger starters. Huge conversion, max range counter hit off of that standing medium kick.
And Small Caps really accessing that high blade kick quite often. Nice check with the invincible startup frames there for the wake up of Dawn.
Yeah, making that drive rush safe. Of course, the awareness, huge skill indicator of this game is how you respond up a drive rush. You see it's blocked, you go into something safe, continue your offense.
I feel that Small Caps played that round very textbook for Ryu. He didn't do anything too incredibly aggressively crazy, just very methodical.
Yeah, and it's difficult to do. You have to be very consistent, but I feel like he's found like the perfect range to play at. This range where like Ken's really only option to challenge you is probably like stand heavy punch, but it's quite slow, right?
Nice check there. Crouching jab.
And Small Cap's going for all these like very small buttons, getting started with all the lights safe as possible. Goes into CA.
That's right.
To make sure that it's locked in.
Great cancel there, and he is going to clutch out that second round. Good stuff here for Small Caps.
Listen, I can see the chat. Small Caps can be both of your dads. It's possible. Everyone's like, Small Caps, that's my dad, that's my dad.
Oh,
Happy Father's Day.
Funny.
A little late.
Very nice. Okay, using that OD blade is going to give you the bounce back, and great pressure here.
Yeah, just got to get started using that drive rush to try and get your turn started. But listen, taking the throw mid-screen like that is really not a concern, especially Small Caps. I feel must be very confident right now.
That's right.
Very standard play, just like textbook, as you were saying.
And I feel that at this point now, what Dawn's trying to do is introduce a lot more of the high-low game, because he's trying to open Ryu up because of how solid he's playing. Oh man, counter DI, here we go. What is the combo going to be?
Just for a fun little juggle there towards the corner. Burnout, so DI's a real concern. You do have the level 1 to respond. You can't level 2 because it's not invincible anymore. You got to be careful.
Oh my gosh, that's it. In the burnout state, got the stun. Shugeki level 2.
Oh, this is going to do so much damage. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Able to finish things off.
Smokehap's doing an amazing job playing a very textbook.
Methodical.
Yes, completely.
This is not the textbook, this is the whole curriculum. The whole rubric.
Encyclopedia Ryu here.
Gold star for this dude so far, but Don has had a lot of opportunities. I just feel like the hits he's gotten have been like mid-screen and have not led to much. Meanwhile, Smallcaps has found his way to the corner every time, spending the resources just for the corner carry.
Now, one thing, Don, we're seeing, you know, he's doing a great job playing Ken, but one thing he could try to capitalize on, of course, is the Genrai mix-up.
Yes.
We haven't seen much usage of the Genrai so far.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're facing someone who's playing really solid, you almost have this like voice in the back of your head of like, I should do the same thing, like I should meet them where they are.
Right.
And so I wonder if Don is maybe just a little, you know, you get lost in the trees a little bit of a matchup like this, especially when you're on the back foot, you're overthinking, you're like, what's the problem here? Tries to hit out of, has gotten a lot of DPs, so he thought that maybe Smallcaps would slow down, but Smallcaps does not care about eating DP. He's eating it every time, and it's just like, I'll just go back to what I was doing. Nice check.
Right. Nice. And here we go again. Dawn is able to catch on the wake up. Smallcaps pressing a button, so we have that relentless pressure though
and this is
from
set
Smallcaps.
Set point for Smallcaps. He's just ready. The jab conversions every time. He's just Mr. Lights. Like he loves just like pressing something non-committal.
Yes.
He's like, I don't need a lot of damage. I just need to hit it a bunch of times.
And here we go. We're seeing Dawn taking more of an authoritative start here, and he's getting a lot of mileage out of it. Here we go.
Of course, though, Dawn now in burnout. You're gonna have to see what Smallcaps. Smallcaps is like, maybe you're gonna panic. I'm just gonna chill, do some fireballs, do some chip damage. Get really plus in the corner here. DI's a threat again. Just waits for the jump out.
Fantastic anti-air, the Shoryuken there.
There's the DP again. Like I said, Smallcaps doesn't care, and he's just ready to check right after. He's unfazed.
Very well. Good game there, and you can really tell Dawn played smart, tried to do what he could. He knew he didn't want to jump forward because of the anti-air. Smallcaps was just very aware of his surroundings, really. He was trying to get the confirms on the ground, but just could not access the big damage.
It's just like, yeah, he found those DPs, but in Street Fighter 6, it costs a lot of resource. Like the drive bar is kind of your lifeblood, second health bar. And it's not going to lead to a lot in the mid-screen unless you spend an extra bar of drive rush. And Smallcaps, we saw that at the end. He tried to get Oki. Smallcaps just ready for anything. Throwing out lights, ready for counter hit convergence at any range. Just, I don't know how many times you can say it. Just like perfect play. And we'll have to see if that is going to be maintained later into this bracket as we're approaching, of course, top 24. This is, of course, the last set of pools for the day until we get into the real nitty-gritty, the cream of the crop. Running these players through a sieve.
Completely, yes. Yeah, very, very strong stuff there for Smallcaps. And you could tell, too, as he was more comfortable using the blade kick. But here we go into our next matchup here in Drigo.
Drigo, not Daigo. Not
Daigo,
Daigo, not a typo.
Daigo.
That is Drigo against Tino. Making me think about The Weeknd. I don't know if you know that cartoon. That was an old one.
No.
That was Disney Channel. For us, it was Family Channel. You got to remember everything's a little different here. Tino, Tana, Teeny. But listen, I got a match to focus on. I don't know. All I know is that Tino kid had a big head, maybe for a big brain, and maybe we'll see that kind of stuff from Tino here.
Okay, we're going to have Drigo with Dulcine. Oh, we could have a Dulcine mirror match here.
Oh my god, they're out. They've assembled. They're doing hot yoga in the gym room all weekend.
That's right, and they're loving it.
It's the right weather for hot yoga, jeez. Feeling very flexible. It's going to be weird, right? Like, we're going to see a lot of counter hit limbs into limbs. We're all smiles here.
That's right.
Man, Dawson's got great teeth for a guy that old. You would think. His dental must go crazy. Yeah, tries to sweep the... I wonder, yeah, it's going to be a lot of full screen. It's either going to get really nuts or really safe.
The interesting thing is it makes you almost wonder if these are also possible practice partners against each other. They have a bit of familiarity, matchup familiarity against each other as players.
Teleporting out of the teleport. Knows I don't want to deal with the fireball. Yeah, you have to wonder if there's a sim cord right now where they're adding each other. Not quite sure. I would never be in a place like that, but maybe it's home to these guys.
I'm seeing Trico. That's right, in the burnout state here. And there you go, teleport to the Fierce. Yoga Inferno is going to catch those landing frames.
Yeah, taking advantage of the burnout here. Huge frame trap. And another thing, too, is that drive rush cancels. They tend to be like, this is your best option. This is how you're going to frame trap. Once they get into burnout, so much stuff becomes a frame trap. So much new stuff becomes a true string. Great awareness there from Tino taking that first round.
Fantastic. Catches the teleport there at the anti-air.
Yeah, the anti-airs from Sim are not super consistent, but when you land them, they you get to set up fireballs. Sometimes they lead to huge combos.
Right.
Nice air-to-air.
Air-to-air. Unbelievable stuff here. And
he's just ready.
Right. Drigo very aware of his surroundings here.
Kind of is aware, like, I have the lead right. I think it's going to be a very, matchup defining. Who has the lead and who has to take the risk to get in.
Yes.
Because they both know they're happy to sit full screen.
Great stuff here, mixing in the low conversion, and
gets burnt out, though.
Drigo, his life bar roughly matching Tino's.
But he's going to have to wait out this burnout. Drigo's trying to find their opportunity. That was a great anti-air, but going right into level 2. I don't think it's going to be enough. We're going to eat some more of that timer. Next touch will be enough.
Fantastic setup there with Fireball, closing it out.
I think we might have tried to see another teleport out, but might have not had the, might have accidentally hit the jab. It's a high octane, high stress situation.
Yes. And here we go. That is the first yoga drill that we've seen so far in the match.
And it got punished, even on hit. You got to be real careful. This is not Cammy, you know. You gotta be very precise. Not to say that Cammy can't be precise, but it's a little harder for Sim.
It's more forgiving.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Not a lot of scenarios where Sim is getting plus off of that.
That's right. Catching his cooldown frames from the teleport there, and in the burnout state, Drigo.
Yeah, willing to go for it.
He's really getting hit by a lot of
nice.
normals.
Lands it out.
Right.
Using the float to kind of circumvent. We're seeing a lot of teleport into teleport into teleport. This might actually be, it's going to be being able to tie us up, especially with the level 1.
That's right.
Meaty fireball.
Great cancel combo into that Inferno, and
has the conversion, but doesn't finish.
Here we go.
Oh, minus that close is very scary. Burnout is going to be over soon for Tino, but holds his ground. Yep.
Great stuff here. Tino clutches it out. Of course, Drigo had a very, very close round there.
Finding the way in. Changing the option too off of float is really cool. Like float air to airs and float against float.
Yes. Okay, forcing Tino to the corner.
Chilling, trying to, because you know he wants to teleport out. And both of them know that, so there's like a respect of like who's going to set up the fireball and get advantage. Not ready to check it there. Nice shimmy.
Up here. Fantastic stuff.
Nice tech though. Tino might be able to find their way out there. Just trading limbs, doing drive damage to each other, hoping to go for a burnout.
Okay, fantastic use of the float there for the confirm, and drive rush cancel.
Ooh, trying to go for the bait, but ready for it this time. They're learning as they fight.
Yes.
The adaptations.
Oh my goodness.
Whiff jab into throw.
Here we go. What's the mix-up? Here we go. Drive rush to throw again.
Both of them have CA. It's a real option here. Goes for the drill. Can't find the conversion, though.
And here we go in the burnout state. Closes it out.
Should be enough. Yeah, Tino going to be going to that second game. Staying on top. Not quite over yet. We'll have another opportunity. This could be a 3-0, but we're seeing a lot of exchanges of ideas. We're seeing a lot of Dulcim communication. A lot of Dulcim to Dulcim conversation. It's just kind of yelled from far away, you know what I mean? A lot of echo at the Pow Pow Cafe. I love this stage. As an SNK fan,
it's a beautiful background.
Getting all the, having King and stuff in the background, very cute.
A lot of use of normals, and we're seeing the long-ranging normals too. This is the first time in the games we've seen so much up close.
Yeah. Well, I think both of them know that like they've been kind of playing around drive gauge by making each other block these big heavy buttons.
Right.
And whoever's been kind of ahead on drive gauge has been able to get away with so much more, and using the level 1s early to take even more of that drive gauge.
Okay, drive rush cancel. Everybody a little bit of a deficit of their resources right now. And that's it, going for the teleport cross up with the Fierce. Very well done.
Optimal stuff, and we're seeing that Drigo is trying to go for these checks on the teleport, but when they side switch you, it's not always consistent. Like, Yoga Blast is a very good anti-air, but you have to be ready. It's not the kind of thing you can cross-cut. You got to be ready for it. The air-to-airs, though.
Yeah, trying to capitalize off the plus frames from that projectile there, but
we're seeing a lot of the patience from these guys now. They've shimmied each other so often with the Yoga Float that we're seeing so much, like, they just never tech. That was a great, tight cross-up.
That's right. Fantastic conversion damage.
Oh, double drill!
Yep. Bringing it right back, Tino.
Chilling,
Lots
just using the
of
float.
patience.
Baiting the float, right? Looking for a response to where they can find advantage. Try to go for the whiff punish.
That's right. Trigo does have access to a full level 3 at this point here, but he is getting a huge amount of damage.
Oh, just built the meter. So optimal. I think that's going to be enough.
Great awareness here from Tino and his resources. It's the game. Fantastic stuff.
Tino living for the weekend, and it's only Saturday. There's a lot of Street Fighter left to be played, especially if you make it through the top 8 tonight.
Very well done. And I think that's something we can really say is that Tino, because he was so aware of building his resources and what he had access to, was able to tap into that extra damage against Drigo. Make
every hit count because they're going to be very errant hits, like just random counter hits on limbs. They like they add up, but it's not the same as like, you know, button drive rush, button level 3, doing that real like 50-60%.
Right, very, very well done. And this really shows how much knowledge is of someone that's a character specialist. Dulcim, a very unusual character to the Street Fighter franchise.
Yeah.
And being able to optimize a character that's that difficult to use, especially in a mirror match, it shows a lot.
Yeah, it shows a lot of familiarity. We always say he's like a trademark oddball. Has been with the series since like Street Fighter 2. It's always a strange character, but I feel like if you play the game long enough, you're going to run into some real experts. People who play this character play this character. Because they always seem to make it work, even though like very common in tier lists across many games, bottom 5, and they're still just like, I'll make it work.
Yes.
I'll make it work if I land enough limbs, if I'm just right often enough. But we'll be heading into the next match soon. We're just figuring ourselves out as we're heading towards a little bit of TO discussion as we're getting close to winners finals of these pools. Want to make sure that we announce them as people are advanced into top 24. I might actually take a sneak at the bracket myself. Luckily have the bracket running perms.
Yeah, I couldn't get the internet access back here.
It's hard. Listen, the data, especially roaming, you're already doing enough. I got you. Okay, I know those guys.
Oh,
that's Dom Churros. He was doing commentary just before us.
Yes.
Very nice guy from Montreal. Very, very talented jury player.
Yes.
I think he's going to be a jury mirror, actually, which is going to be cool. Like, both these players have performed very well historically. Both these guys commentate. There was a random tournament. I think it might have been GOML last year. We did some side game or side stream commentary. That was the first time that Dom did commentary. And he was like, man, this is really fun. I might do this again. And now here he is.
That's great.
Both these guys doing commentary jobs. We have Toronto versus Montreal right now. The jury off. Silver Rupee very solid, I will say. Really good with like reads, very consistent on DPs and finding the right option to deal with an opponent. Dom Churros is kind of the like level 2 master. He's really good at doing the like rising, knowing where to go to throw and going from rising JM into a full combo. He's the level 2 advocate. A lot of jury players think that tool is not super strong, but we are into it. Catching up with us now, Silver Rupee. Oh right, Silver Rupee may have changed character. I forgot about that. He has been playing Ed. Or maybe he just doesn't want to play the mirror. I'm not quite sure. We'll see as the set progresses.
Here we go. Great use of his drive gauge, even though he's starting to heal it up a little bit there. But here we go. Jury with the check catches Ed, pressing a button.
Yeah, the plus frames. Ed's buttons are quite slow, a little dip. Like his fastest button is really stubby. It's difficult to deal with, but great DI that early. I kind of appreciate wanting to check him that early before waking up, before he might think that was a DI, but knows the nerd combo. If anyone, my boy Mike.
Capitalizing off of that Psycho Cannon and closes it out with the level 2.
I gotta say, it's so cool that Capcom nerfed that in a way where it didn't take it away, just the meter gain. I love it when a character has something cool and they're like, nah, you can keep it. It just can't be that good. Still kind of the optimal to go for.
One thing that we're really seeing Silver Rupee capitalizing on is great movement here. He's using his kill rush in addition to a lot of shimmying, small steps back and forth. Great stuff here against Churros.
I just think he's trying to find the right range, right? He's going to be plus, have to deal with it, but might have been late on the mash. I'm not quite sure. Might have been trying to go into level 2 as well. Silver Rupee going to be burnt out as well with the level 2 pop. Finds the knockdown. This is exactly what we're talking about. Churros is a level 2 fiend. He has a lot of setups, a lot of optimals. What's he going to go for here? A fuzzy?
Oh
yes, double overhead.
Unbelievable. Fantastic pressure here for Churros. Unbelievable execution.
Yes.
Truly.
It's just what he drills, right? You see him in training mode, and he's just like, what's a new level 2 thing that I can try out? What's an optimal situation? Because it's like so freeform. Gatling, being able to Gatling to any other normal in your arsenal.
Yes. And we're seeing Ed really keeping a lot of pressure here on Jury. But here we go with the immediate jump in for the punish counter.
I think it's where you're going to have an advantage in that mid screen where your stand medium kick is going to be at max range. But Churro's very happy to bulldog in, wait for you to be minus, find a drive rush, and get their turn started. It's the Jury Classic. This character's been consistently so good across all versions, and just because she plays the system so well. That drive rush so difficult to check, especially for Ed. Ed, I think probably your best bet is probably that crouching leg kick, but it's very low reward, especially compared to some of the stuff that Jury can get off.
Okay, going for that Cobra Lunge punch, and Jury getting quite a bit of
drop their combo
damage against her in the corner there.
End up losing the corner positioning. Nice check. That should be enough, especially if you see level 1. He doesn't need it. He knows better than me.
Fantastic stuff here. Great comeback by Silver Rupee.
Yes.
Nice anti-air. Good awareness.
Yeah, just waiting long enough, too, to see if the dive kick is coming, because if you anti-air too early, sometimes Jury can mess you up for trying to anti-air her.
Right.
Silver Rupee being patient, feeling confident right now.
Dom really, storing a lot of Fuhajins. He's going to try to access them for pressure in his combos. But Silver Rupee, very relentless on his rush down.
They'd have to see if he can challenge, find his turn starting again, just using a lot of the flicker to try and beat out Dom Churros for trying to challenge back for his own drive rush. Silver Rupee, full drive gauge now, can spend whatever he wants, goes on a level 3. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think if he cashed out, it would have been enough.
Yeah.
So hopefully this doesn't end up biting him, but he's going to have an opportunity. If you're not burnt out, you're going to be close.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is also close to the burnout state here for Churros. Very dangerous.
You kind of have to mash out super, and Silver Rupee knows that, baits out the super.
And that's it. The flicker closes it out there for Silver Rupee. That is 1-1.
We got a set. I knew it was going to be close, too. Even listen, I thought it was going to be Mir. I was wrong about that, but I knew it was going to be close. Both these guys, very strong knowledge of the game.
Great stuff. Drive rush there with the low forward.
Nice check there, advancing forward, using that fireball, the classic fireball drive rush, get behind it. We're seeing a lot of forward heavy punch from Silver Rupee, trying to hop over the fireballs.
Right.
But the timing is tight, especially if Jury's ready for it. Nice hit, but that's exactly.
Yeah, and that was a great delay for the dive kick there. He was waiting until Silver Rupee was more vulnerable at that point.
And the neat thing about Jury is, it's really good at baiting ATRs, but it's almost always unsafe, too. So, it's a big risk. It's a big read. Not ready.
Wall splat here. And here we go for the Fuhajin special level 1.
Yeah. Challenge with the crouch media kick, expected the shimmy, but sometimes that neutral jumper jump forward in the corner, it baits out so many options. You see them parry, you can land a punish. If your opponent is privy to it, they can respond, but nice bait.
Catching those cooldown frames from landing.
Do we get it twice? No, just once. Okay, with the third combo, not quite as strong, but listen, it's still a lot of damage. We're still in the corner.
That's right.
Ready for the DI, right back.
It's Jury's turn.
How are they
She's going to go for corner control instead.
Dom is really close to burnout. I feel like if Silver Rupee gets his opportunity back here, he's got to play very careful because Silver Rupee gets in, it can all fall apart, but got a little too cheeky with the DI. You know that Big Dom Churro's got to be aware of it. Returns the neutral. This is kind of where you want to be. Burns out. You either want to be on the offense. Nice.
That's right. Confirming the low forward into that Feng Shui. And, just a little bit of a miss there.
It's okay. Mistakes into miracles. We keep going. One more touch is going to be enough. Goes for the fuzzy again. That was really smart of Rupee to
That was good movement.
Yeah, sneak out of the corner. Knows he's going to go for something cheeky, but may have tried to challenge with something a little too slow.
Yes. Good game there for Churros.
2-1. That was a quick one as well. I feel like Rupee really got on the bad edits and reads, but nice backdash into the punish on the meaty throw. Not every character in the game gets that.
That's right.
Nice awareness.
Too much button pressing there, going for that reversal, but here we go. Jury on the offense in the corner. Fantastic movement with the backdash and the whiff punish.
Yeah. It might be enough here with the level 1. The Fuha stacks are spent ultimately. I think minimum scaling. That might be a Twitter clip. Not quite. Gonna need one more. Cleans it up, stays consistent, not nervous about it.
And that's the great thing about Jury. She has access to every option that you need, but the damage is not necessarily there as much for her.
Nice, perfect parry.
Jury takes her turn with the drive rush.
Gonna be very scaled, but listen, it just gets the turn started. We got a free Fuha stock. That stand medium kick is so solid off the drive rush. It's got the 2 hits. First one's cancelable. Nice cross cut.
To keep you on your toes.
Gets back to mid-screen, but Silver Rupee really has not had the opportunity to get started. I feel like momentum has shifted so much in Churros' side, and I think this might be enough. Yeah, I spent all the resources. It's going to be close. Last touch. You have to worry about throw. Double overhead is blocked this time. Nice awareness.
Very good stuff here for Dom Churros. Closing it out with high execution style. Extremely strong jury. Very, very well done.
Yeah, Dom is a student of the game. Very well studied. Very grindy. Like every tournament that he possibly gets to. Friendly dude as well. Nice to listen. Hate to see one friend lose, but happy to see another. I got to be happy for the one who wins, and I know that Mike can make a best effort in the loser side of the bracket.
That's right. I feel Silver Rupee, very strong Ed, but we did not see much blitzes. I feel that he would really capitalize off of doing some of those more of the blitzes to try to keep Jury out of her neutral range and more into the longer mid-range that Ed has.
Yeah, and I think that there was a little bit at the beginning where stand medium kicks were adding up, kind of like we see in the match earlier on with like Andy, where he was getting all these like stand medium kicks and kind of establishing neutral out there. But I feel like Dom had so many different avenues on trying to approach that. There is a lingering hurt box. There was whip punish opportunities. He was finding the right times to drive rush, times where Silver Rupee might be hesitating or not ready to check.
Right.
It's always nice to see like a back and forth of two people that are like locked in, paying attention. Let's love this. I love to see layer 5. You know what I mean? When we get that deep in the tiramisu, when we're at the ladyfingers, like that's when things really start to get interesting here.
Absolutely. But here we go, and we are going to have 2 more matches here before our top 24.
We have 1 more match. I think that was 2 more before. I think we're 1 match away from top 24. This is multiple lines. It's not our fault. But we are going to be doing 1 more match, and then we're going to sell you some more stuff before you go. But stick around. We'll be going into top 24 either. Hey, Russell, is top 24 right after this, or is it City of the Wolves? And then it'll be top 24? Okay. Don't go anywhere, Street Fighter fans. There's more where that came, and we'll be back tomorrow. I think it's 6 o'clock for Street Fighter 6, top 8. And the Beast Cup, right? You'll be there for that one, right? You're holding that down? Yeah. So lots of Street Fighter still today and tomorrow. Get to see the Beast Cup, see some Daigo competing. For those who don't know, there's someone who was asking if Daigo was here earlier, which of course you confirmed. Yeah. He is here. Yeah. Lost a very close set to Scrot Vermillion. Scrot has been grinding the game so hard. Of course, Scrot, legendary Melty-Blood player, dominated that scene for so long.
To the very last round, the very final round there.
And it was like a lead. It was not like a comeback. Like he had a 2-0 lead, I believe, at some point. It does not get much better, but Daigo is going to have to compose. Of course, I think this is Daigo's first time at GOML. We usually have like one like big international player here. The last couple of years it's been Mena has been coming down. Has been loving his time in Canada. Would love if Dom Rep could come up here again. We'll have to see. But for now we got Riddles. Once again another. So I guess this must be another one. Out winners to top 24.
Yes.
I need to check the bracket actually really quick if you want to talk about these guys. Make sure if there's winners or losers.
And that's one thing really to say. Riddles, extremely strong Smash player and Street Fighter player, sticking it out with the new SNK crossover character, Terry. And of course we just saw Dom Churros making it through with a very high execution jury.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Ready to capitalize on what have you. Riddles, of course, though, is probably like, I think maybe a textbook, like one of the most studied people right now. One of the players that is trying the hardest to make a name for themselves. They already have, but like becoming an international threat level player. Of course, just won Sajam Slam alongside their team.
Right.
Very impressive showing. Shoutouts to get a free trip to EVO.
Okay.
Practicing now, stays in front.
Combo here.
Using the lane change target combo, not often. Listen, I don't think it's a very reliable tactic, but once in a while, you gotta like add it to the mental stack.
Absolutely.
There's that jumping medium punch.
Up there a little bit, and fantastic juggle combo into that Fuhajin level 1.
Just changing the risk reward on throw like that is so important on defense, where throw is usually so safe. Drops the combo just to get the side switch. One more opportunity they'll have here, but that stand fierce plus on block, double hitting heavy, right? You're gonna crank that drive gauge. Just playing this character in pools, you just get to do drive rush, stand fierce, frame trap into another stand fierce. Their drive gauge is just driving away.
And that's the thing too. Terry can hit like a tank, so really capitalizing off of that gives you so much mileage. Nice time reversal here to reset the neutral, and Fuhajin stock here for Churros.
Builds another one. Like it was a weird misspacing opportunity, but caught Riddles responding with the parry, which was correct. But you know, in a scramble, you got to be ready for weird stuff to happen.
A little bit of reset here. The Geyser is going to catch.
Easiest overhead possible.
And here we go with the highs and lows. Churros
Should be enough.
It out with the level 1.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
optimal stuff. I like that they spent as many resources as they could before meter just to see like maybe I could clutch it out.
Yes.
I think they could have done a DP there, but I also agree. It was not clean. So much scaling at that point.
Yes.
Backing out.
Okay, everyone a little bit more of the neutral range there. Nice check with the rising tackle. And here we go, Terry really using his plus frames to lock Jury down for that forward throw.
Yeah, I think it's probably like one of the most significant buffs that Terry has gotten. Even though he's a character who's got consistently, I think that like he's become kind of like a really good spot for balance.
Yes.
Where he's been so like mid-high, and I think he's only gotten buffs this season. Burnout's a real concern for Churros, which is why we're going for parry and stuff, right? We're going for fireballs, because if you parry it, you might burn yourself out, but on block, you're going to burn yourself out as well. You don't want to jump it, punish counter.
Right, a little bit of a mix-up there on the cross-up, and Riddles capitalizing off of that. So, awesome stuff here. Closing it out, Riddles with that first game.
Very nice, the staff here bringing us a glass of water. Knows we've been here for a while. There's someone in the chat being like, make sure you have a drink of water, and I was like, I forgot. You're right.
Hydrate.
I'm just locked in. I'm the announcer right now. I'm the commentator.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay, falling behind the plus frames of that power geyser, and Burning Knuckle, really good corner carry.
Yeah, and a very solid knockdown too. It's usually not your best damage, and the thing off of lights, you usually can't go into it off, but just knowing which lights can combo at the ranges. Another big thing for Terry this patch is a lot of his enders got more consistent off of lights, so he's a lot better at finishing things off significantly.
Nice check here, and we're seeing Churros. He's really fishing. He's fishing with highs, lows, quick buttons. He's trying to find a quick confirm against Riddles. Here we go, Riddles now in that burnout state.
Yeah, it's getting so many meaty overheads. Dude, like, Big Dom Churros has gone for that so often, and Riddles is just so consistent. Like, he's just so ready. Giving him something reactable is, like, the best thing you can give him. Given, that was barely reactable. Riddles still locked in.
Great awareness there for the uppercut by Riddles, and here we go. Churros really turning up the intensity here in this match. Very aggressive.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if it's going to pay off. I like not hesitating. When you fight a player this solid, you're like, oh no, what can I do? What can I get away with? But Churros, chilling out.
Fantastic. Catching those landing frames there with the crouching fierce. But huge combo in the corner here. Jury taking quite a bit of pressure on that player 2 side, but that low forward drive rush cancel is going to work. Riddles is going to be knocked out.
Yeah, one more touch, Bergdom Churros, like always optimally burning himself at the end, knows how to spend his meter, optimal as possible, but it's going to be a big upwards battle. Luckily, the meter advantage is not super huge. You find the right hit. I like the dive kick, ended up in a bit of a scramble though.
Yes.
They nerfed that jumping down heavy punch, but it's still always plus. You know, it just needs to be way too plus.
And we're seeing Riddles is still working on a full level 3 here, but Jury is working and gaining her resources.
Yeah, building those stocks. Riddles has the opportunity to go to level 3 here, saves it, waiting for the kill opportunity or when it's going to matter more.
That's right. This is a very dangerous situation here because Terry does have, that's right, 3 bars and a full level 3.
And this is going to remove about 1.5 bars of that drive gauge, which puts you in a very scary position where you can only deal, you still have parry available, which he does for here, but if he baited that out, go for the burnout before he was ready to respond, had the 3 bars. But Riddles, I think, is probably one of the most people, he's very, very good at switching things up. He's maybe one of the most solid players that I'm aware of, but he will DI you. Like, he will reaction check you. He will lull you to sleep and then take you out in the middle of the night, you know? Silent takedown, real Hitman stuff.
Okay, here we go. And what's the Oki going to be after the throw?
Nice, perfect parry. Canceled as well to get the momentum back. Nice shimmy.
That's just the startup frames of that throw.
Let's capitalize, Churros. Back throw. Very bad.
Catches the punish counter there, but capitalizing with the shoulder press.
Yeah, that stand light kick buffer was so solid, and Terry gets so much damage off of lights at max range thanks to that.
Here we go, level 1, and Jury close to the burnout state. Nice check there with the standing jab.
That was so smart too, because like if he parried that fireball, he would have burnt out. He had to just find another option. Even though he lost so much health, this is kind of the right decision. And Riddles continues the onslaught though, going safe as possible.
And this is match point here for Riddles.
And I wanted to double check. I feel like this might be losers. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna sneak through it.
Okay, great stuff here. And the anti-jump, little bit of a shimmy situation there, trying to catch Dawn pressing a button.
But these are disciplined players.
Yes.
They're not just gonna give it up.
Catches the startup of the crack shoot there. And here we go on the aggressive Don Churros. Unbelievable comeback.
Yeah, utilizing that drive rush crouching light kick got buffed almost across the board to be a much better option out of drive rush, and so optimizing to confirm. Nice blocks, is safe on block, but the you spent some meter to try and capitalize, but Riddle's not scared at all. Man, I gotta write down who he's using next in light kick, but just like that.
Don Churros catches Riddle's pressing a button, capitalizing on his level 3 for a big conversion of damage. Baits out the rising tackle, here we go, and Buster Wolf is baited. Also fantastic catching the recovery frames of the level 1.
And sends it all the way. Shoutouts Churros on the board. It was looking devious. It was looking difficult.
Good game. Fantastic stuff there. Don Churros game on the board. And that's the thing, too. Extremely close rounds. Don Churros being able to clutch it out.
All that matters at the end is that you don't lose composure. Never believe. Listen, no matter how solid they are, it's just a human person. You know what I mean? They can make a mistake. You have all the same buttons as they do, kind of. Different characters, but you've got to maintain that if I play solid, if I make the right decision, anything can happen.
Okay, that's right. Baiting out the reversal, and that's it. It's Terry's turn, and closes it out with style. Riddles is on match point again.
I don't know if there's anyone more than Riddles that is so aware of when they have a combo that will kill. Like, having the awareness, he didn't do that punish. Every single other time he autopiloted a different punish. Saw he could get the kill there, goes into drive rush early. So impressive.
And Riddles, we're seeing he's staggering his hits. He's going for highs and lows, and a solid confirm here.
He's so ready to block everything he can go for. Hard knockdown. Nice block on the meaty overhead.
Okay, switching it up with a throw Oki situation. Nice combo with the jabs.
Should be enough. Just like that, Riddles is going to be advancing forward. Knows he's going to build the meter, keeps it simple. So many lights in that combo, but the minimum scaling on that level 3 is going to guarantee that he moves on. But good showing from Churros. A real back and forth, but when Riddles gets control, it's hard. And I had to be a little biased for Churros, too. He's more local. Not local, but 2-hour drive versus 4-hour drive. I'll take it.
That's right.
But incredible showing there.
Very, very good. Very close games, good games. We're seeing Don Churros, high execution, aware jury player, but being very clutch and, of course, combo into huge conversions of damage. That's Riddles. And we know, Terry, you have to really monitor your resources and your levels because you can tap into that additional damage with him. So great stuff there for Riddles.
Yeah, just like I said, textbook. He's extremely good at checking everything that you could go for. His anti-airs, he never lets you get away with a jump in as long as it's like within his control. You go for a safe jump, of course. What can you do? But ready to check every approach, never that concerned when things go wrong, and ready to suddenly be like, you know what, I will prank you. After doing all this hard work, A-plus student, teacher's pet kind of neutral Street Fighter, I'll just DI. I'll just get in there. I'll go for an overhead. And
because
it's important.
You know what? If somebody keeps pressuring and they're putting out something that is a little too risky.
Yeah.
If you go for it, armor frames are going to absorb it. You get the confirm. Huge punish counter situation. It's really, really good opportunity.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's opportunities where your opponent will kind of win for you. Playing so solid and so safe. We saw some of that earlier in some of our earlier pool matches.
Yes.
Where you're chilling, you're waiting for your opponent to make a mistake and capitalizing at it. When you get this close to top 24, you've got to force your opponent to make some mistakes. You've got to add some. You've got to make them overthink, get scared, hesitate, whatever it takes. And of course, Kujo wearing our sponsor. I wanted to wear them too, but I think the double glasses, I don't know if it would be cool. We can try and make it work just like that.
That's it.
Zenny sponsoring the event. Want to check out their code GOML to get 10% off site-wide. They're nice sunglasses. And of course, whenever you can get a deal, they're quite comfortable. Not exactly, they're not gamer branded, but if you're sitting and playing games all day, the blue light blocking helps out, especially you're at locals. There's no flux for PS5. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot make it be nighttime friendly.
And that is the interesting thing, too. You can definitely wear these glasses for a long period of time. They're very light.
Yes.
They're comfortable.
You can forget they're on your head.
Yes.
But shout outs to them. Any official support that we can get is huge. Thank you so much. And also shout outs to Domino's staying consistent. Listen, I've seen too many people show up this morning, 11 a.m. pools. They don't get breakfast. They show up. It's just a Red Bull and a dream. Empty stomach, that's not how you want to play it. Listen, there's no such thing as a food coma that early in the morning. Get that nutrition you need. Domino's, thank you so much for the support for another year. Use code GOML30 for 30% off.
That's right. Awesome stuff there.
But valid in Canada only. Sorry, Americans. Listen, it's not my
That's
fault.
right.
Listen,
No
we're in a
Domino's
trade
for
war.
you.
Remember, we're in a trade war. Canada only, unfortunately. Canada owned. Shout-outs to Domino's. And, of course, GOML Forever shirts.
And that is going to be those fantastic hoodies, T-shirts, and baseball caps. Go to startgg.com, GOML, and that is 11 years of Get On My Level. Beautiful merch here to rep this tournament.
Yeah, continue to make very stylish stuff, and they will run out of stock. If you
Yes.
want it, make some moves. And if you want to make some moves, so does Miami. Let's make moves. Head down October. The beach is still going to be good. You know, in October in Miami, it doesn't matter what time of season. It's not going to be snowing there. They're going to be playing beach volleyball. They're going to be playing Smash Melee, Smash Ultimate, some of that Rivals. Make sure to use code GOML for 15% off. Brings down the venue to $50.
Yes.
$50? What a steal.
Toryukin is July 26th. That is Toronto's one-day fighting game event, and of course a huge variety of fighting games there. Check it out. Sign up and register at startgg/Toryukin.
We will be there, or I will be there. I'd love to have you there. There's a lot of games, but Russell, I happen to notice you can fit a KOF 15 at the bottom there. I know we have the Fatal Fury representation, but we can fit it. I know that he's got more room, and I know that you have more room to capitalize on your perfect prediction skills. I know some of you at home right now are predicting who's going to walk away with the win, looking at the bracket saying, I could have seeded this better. Head to fizzybrax.com. They are running fantasy snake brackets for this tournament and, of course, many others. Check it out. It is free to use, free to get into. Give it a looky-loo. And, of course, we'll be heading into checking out these chairs, these comfortable chairs. Take a look. We'll talk about them after.
They are comfortable and stylish. Check them out at blacklight.com. Use code GOML20 to access 20% off of these fantastic and comfortable gaming chairs.
I really like their design. They're very sleek. They're not over-designed. I don't see like racing stripes and gamer symbols. And, you know, it's just very – you could get away with it. If you, had this office chair, someone would be like, is this just ergonomic or are you gaming?